Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this episode of Heresy Hammer. My name is Rob, and this is a channel dedicated to the Horus Heresy. And above me today, we are joined by our good friend of the show, Matt. Matt, welcome back to another Legion deep dive, right? I think you were here for the last, I want to say the last
Yeah,
Ultramarines deep dive, weren't you?
yeah. Last
3 years ago,
Ultramarines.
or however many,
Fucking hell.
however many years ago
Jesus
it
Christ.
was. But we have got a
Yeah,
Legion expert on the show today, and Matt is going to tell me why I shouldn't just abandon the Ultramarines
sell them.
completely,
Yeah.
and why they are in fact a good Legions. Because I've been like a little peek behind the curtain. I've been a little bit disappointed where the
You're a
Ultramarines are at.
naysayer. Yeah. And you know what? I
I
get it.
am.
I get
Yeah,
it. I get it. So hopefully, I
yeah.
think after this, you can maybe think, actually, maybe I don't want to stick them on heresy trading. And you might want to just give them a little go, see what happens.
Yeah, I think
Um,
so. Yeah, I mean, we'll talk more about the Legion trait when we get to the Legion trait and my thoughts and
yeah.
feelings on it. But they are quite a radically different Legion in the way that I think that they play, and
Yeah.
certainly
Yeah.
cerebrally how they might play as well. But
Mhm.
we will cross that in a bit. But you might be asking us, who is Matt? So Matt, if we just go to the next
Yeah.
slide, Matt. So Matt is a prolific painter of all things blue. I mean, the man he just can't get enough. Be it
Can't get
World
enough.
Eaters with blue shoulder pads and
Yeah.
Night Lords in a striking vibrant blue, or the glorious regal blue of Ultramar. You love it. I mean, I take the mick there because you've done various Dark Angels and things like that. But you certainly are a prolific painter, aren't you? You do an awful lot of
Yeah.
projects.
Yeah, I always like so going to so many events in sort of third
Mm.
edition, gosh, second edition. It was
Mm.
like, oh, we'll go to a doubles. I'll do a little,
Yeah,
human army or like a
yeah,
Dark Angels, but I just can't get away from the ultras. I mean, yeah,
yeah,
this is the second iteration I've done of them. I kind
yeah.
of got to a point. I think it was when I saw Adam Full Circle Hobbies
Mm.
Salamanders that he'd done that super matte scheme
Yeah,
and like everything was more military model. I was like, right, I think having done the sort of more vibrant blue that's on
mm.
the left hand side, the older scheme,
Mm.
I was like, right, I want something a bit flatter,
Mm.
where all those like chips and streaks and stuff will all show up, and I've loved it. It's
Yeah,
been great. Something a bit
yeah,
more like Visions of Heresy style,
yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah.
which has been a lot of fun, and I just love
Yeah,
them,
and
love them
this
to
this
bits.
this yeah, this Cerberus is new. Am I right in saying that this is a
Yeah,
new
it is.
new
Yeah,
Cerberus? Yeah, because
yeah,
that was painted in September when I had a
it,
look today, I think. Yeah.
yeah, it was. And it,
Yeah. Okay. That's really cool. I mean, yeah, that's the problem with Adam, isn't he? Is the bastard is so good at painting, it kind of makes you completely change your
Yeah,
change your
yeah.
skeleton.
But I think it's been a real test, and especially I think with how the Legion has changed, it's really
Mm.
put my love of Ultramarines to the test. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fair play. Now,
but
I think it's important to before we start the show just to describe the kind of players that we are, which is that I like to think of ourselves as not whack but cerebral in our
yeah,
way that we design lists, and I think optimized would be the way that I think we describe it.
I think probably I think you maybe are one maybe step above me slightly, I
Yeah.
think, in
Okay.
how
Here we
maybe
go.
you
Here we
approach
go. Here
it.
we go.
But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I think when it came out officially,
Mm,
and even when we got the leaks, I mean,
mm,
I must have written sort of tens, maybe
yeah.
even into hundreds of different iterations of Ultramarine lists in terms of cracking it, because it was all really new, wasn't it?
Yeah. Really new.
And I think probably what we'll go on to talk on later down the line is that Ultramarines are one of those ones that a lot of what you're doing is done before you even play the game
Mm,
in how you make your list.
yes.
So I have had like having gone to greetings, it's been like I've got like an Excel spreadsheet and it's like greetings one, greetings two, greetings three,
Yeah.
greetings
Yeah.
alternative. Like it's been,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's
So
interesting. I mean, we'll talk. I mean, we'll get your thoughts on that as we go. But
yeah,
I mean, one of the best games I think I've ever had. And lots of games kind of like merge into one, don't they? You get
yeah,
so many events, you play hundreds of games. But one of the best games I've ever had is actually against you
yeah.
your army was led by Roboute Guilliman. I think it
Hmm.
was a 3,250 point
Something, yeah.
game.
Hmm.
And I had Alpha Legion, and it was great to see what the Primarchs could do, especially now the
Yeah,
significant changes to Primarchs. That was peak Primarch for me,
for
2.0.
sure.
And just that game, just it, on the whole, was just a really thoughtful game where tested both our metal, didn't it? I think it
I
was.
think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was like 5D chess, and
literally that. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think I was quite surprised, especially with that game, that
Mm,
considering I think you got the first turn, and I got an
mm,
absolute battering in the
yeah,
first turn, and
yeah,
somehow Gilliman managed to
yeah,
sort of cling on, and
yeah,
I don't know what I can't remember what the score was, but it was really really close, and
mate.
effectively
Yeah.
Gilliman zoned out Alfarius for the entire game because he
Literally,
couldn't engage with him.
literally that. I and that game actually, like thinking back on it, I hadn't realised this at the time. Matt definitely. You should all know that Matt often. I will often come to Matt for list building advice, and he will often influence me in terms of my list design and list building. But after playing that bloody Leviathan with double storm cannon, I was like,
Oh
right,
yeah.
well, I've got to put one in my Ultramarines list now. There's no, and then it went on to be a tournament winning model that storm
Yeah,
cannon
it's a good.
Leviathan.
Yeah, he's no
Yeah,
joke.
yeah. Well, it's a bit of a joke now, but we won't get into that just yet. Right. Okay. Let's talk about have a brief
Yes. Shall I?
description of the Ultramarine. So, I think if you are new to Horus Heresy, you'll be surprised by how rigid me and Matt get for the Ultramarines, and I think that part of that is that they are certainly a far cry from their kind of like
Mhm.
vanilla 40k iteration. Although they have their moments, but
Yeah.
the Ultramarines were painted in such a brilliant light, particularly in No Fear by Dan
Yeah.
Abnett.
Yeah.
And if you've not managed to read that book, be warned, if you do read that book, you'll basically want to start an Ultramarines force. And it's unusual. It's unusual, that book, because it stands as a very separate book to the others, which is told in the it's essentially a log of what takes place, but as a
Yeah.
result, it's told in the present tense, which actually for any kind of book is just super unusual. But essentially, it's a log, and it's about the betrayal at Calth, and the word bearers basically springing a surprise attack on the Ultramarines, and then what they do to recover from that surprise attack, or at least try and gain some kind of victory from that attack. And from that book, and also other books, including things like Unremembered Empire, we learn more about the structure of the Legion, kind of the size of the Legion. We understand that Guilliman is almost a mini emperor in and of himself
Yeah.
prior to the
Yeah.
heresy, and he also has quite a diffuse management structure in the sense that he's got tetrarchs, which will rule the four kind of major worlds of the 500 worlds of Ultramar. Um, and then you learn about the kind of like the chapter masters and the company commanders, etc., etc., etc. And you can really start to see the basis for the Codex Astartes that we understand in 40k is laid
Mm.
down within those books. And I think it's amazing. Actually, if you're into 40k, it's actually a great book. That Unremembered Empire, No Fear. It's actually a great history book in terms of
Yeah.
understanding how kind of just generally Space Marines operate in 40k. And then of course, we have the ultimate heresy, Imperium Secundus, where Guilliman essentially cut off by the ruin storm that takes place at Calth, severs basically 500 worlds from most of the segments, like the rest of the system, the galaxy or whatever. The worlds are essentially stranded and on their own, and due to the Pharos, which is a whole storyline we won't get into now, but
Yeah.
lots of ships come to the 500 worlds. So it's a real amalgamation of people who are kind of like lost in the warp storms during the Horus Heresy, and Guilliman, like some mad hoarder, kind of like
Mm.
accumulates these, including Primarch, Sanguinius, the
Yeah.
Lion.
Yeah.
Kurz makes
Yeah,
an
he's there.
appearance.
Everyone's
Yeah,
there, and you can. It's quite fun for like an army,
yeah,
for
yeah,
like an
hundred
army
percent.
idea.
Yeah,
You can do it.
as a concept, yeah, is yeah. But eventually, that kind of the trifecta of
Yeah.
Guilliman, the Lion, and Sanguinius falls apart, and then
Yeah.
they make their way
Terra.
to Terra, and it's quite an important storyline within the Horus Heresy. I think it's probably one of the like Imperium Secundus and Unremembered Empire and No Fear are two of the better and stronger books within the Horus Heresy series. Although I think there are mixed feelings about Unremembered Empire. It's quite a lot of talking and philosophy and Shakespearean quotes and things like that.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think that for some people, it's not quite as sexy as, say, like Betrayer, but where you just get loads of Ultramarines getting their teeth kicked in.
Yeah, getting
But they
getting
did,
pushed out,
yeah,
basically.
but they did paint a really awesome picture of this kind of like semi-Roman style kind of legion, and
Yeah,
lots of the artwork from Book 4, from Conquest, uh, kind of showed us a Ultramarines Legion, which was just in a completely different light, like loads of
yeah,
ornamentation, cuirass with like sculpted abs on it in a way that we wouldn't
yeah,
understand
yeah.
the
You
Ultramarines
just
with
don't see
full
it in
plumed helmets.
40k.
No,
Yeah,
not at all. So the whole look of it is pretty awesome. The models, I think, are generally some of the better models within the range, with the exception probably being Suzarin. I think they're probably a little bit dated now.
yeah, bit
Um,
iffy. Hmm.
yeah, but so, like the Cataphractic Praetor and this model that we got on the screen, I still think are like awesome models.
Really good. Yeah, really, really
Yeah.
good.
So yeah, but what's your thoughts? In terms of kind of like what drew you to the Legion in terms of like fluff and lore.
Yeah, I think I'd said other. I mean, some people might have read listened to the previous one, so I won't wax on too much. But I'd been reading some like historical fiction. I was just a bit
Mm,
interested in Rome, which is fun. And I think this time round, though, when I wanted to redo the Ultras, and I think it's one of the really fun things you can do with them because they have such a strong presence in 40k,
mm,
and they have so many second founding chapters.
mm.
A lot of the chapter masters and these second founding, well, you'll find a character that is in Heresy that you can base them on. So
Yeah.
my guys, I did Sixth Company, which are the Iron Snakes, and there's a Dan
Mm,
Abner book that's really, really good. And you've
mm,
got Saw Damocles, who was at Calth.
yeah. Yeah.
And then you have all that stuff that you can draw on, and then you have the more like sort of Greco-Roman side of it
Mm,
because they're all about that, and they live on this water planet, and they're all about apothecaries, and I've got
mm,
more apothecaries in my army, and then loads of
yeah.
the like Iron Snake symbol on there,
Yeah.
which can be a lot of fun. There are so many cool Ultras chapters that you can take that from. Obviously, you've got the
Yeah.
scythes from
Yeah,
Pharaox,
that's a good point. Yeah.
Pharaoh,
Yeah.
Agita
Yeah.
Company, right? You've got the Aurorans as
Mm,
well, even the Mortificators,
hmm hmm
where the real like sort of morbid
mm,
guy. He was their chapter master was somebody in the Heresy as
mm,
well.
mm.
I think you can do so much.
Yeah.
I've spoken to people who are like, oh yeah, I really want to do like a more like sort of Gaulish sort of vibe
Mm,
to Ultras as well, which I thought
mm,
was really cool because there's old John Blanche artwork that
mm,
definitely leans into that. Before the Suzerain were the Suzerain, they
mm.
were the Varangian guards,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
are
yeah, yeah, yeah,
or the
yeah, yeah,
Varangiai
yeah,
guard,
yeah,
sorry, not
yeah.
definitely not those Vikings from who were
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
in
yeah,
the Western Roman Empire or the
yeah,
Eastern
yeah.
Empire even. Sorry, so that's kind of what drew to me. And I love the art style. I really like. I mean, the second I loved how they played. That was a big part, which obviously we'll talk on about it shortly. But I think it's for me. I love the painting them, and I love all taking all that time. Like when I've airbrushed everything,
Mm,
sitting down with all my transfers in front of me, and then
yeah.
picking all the choice ones.
Sexiest bit for Ultramarines,
Yeah,
isn't it? Yeah, yeah,
yeah, all the checks. I really wanted to go for more of like a sort of like fourth, fifth, sixth edition vibe,
yeah.
like that Karl Kapinski,
Hmm.
Calgar fighting Tyranids, where everyone's got like loads of ornamentation on their armor, like leading into that, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, love that.
It's
Love
great.
that. Yeah, awesome.
Love it.
Okay, cool. Right. Well, let's get into it then. Let's find out
Yeah, let's get into it.
about their rules.
Legion
So
rules.
enough about the fluff. So walk us through. Well, actually, I'll give the context, and then
Yeah,
you can walk us through
sure.
their new rules. So essentially, in the last edition, the rule was that if you were within 6 inches and
Hmm.
you two units fired at the same model, as long as they were in 6 inches, the second firing unit would gain +1 to its BS. So
Yeah,
what that allowed and what that did was it created a challenge in terms of list writing, but also on the table as well, about having units working in tandem with one another. Now, that might look like really simply a rhino with a heavy bolter,
Yeah,
kind of with some
classic.
tracer fire. It had lots of shots on it. It was long range, and then a unit of lads cannons next to it being getting plus one
Mhm.
BS. So they hit on twos. Now, if you're new to the Horus Heresy, kind of hearing how easily it will be to get plus one BS on your models will be quite frightening and quite stunning. And certainly for opponents of the Ultramarines, it probably got a little bit tiresome seeing
Yeah,
so many rhinos, heavy bolters and rhinos. But what I would say is, from a playing point of view, it did make you think about the way in which you had almost kind of smaller cohorts on the table working in tandem
mhm.
with one another. And I quite like that challenge. However, it went through a complete and
Yeah,
utter rework, and I
in
think
the
this is
bin.
just something just general, which is that it's much harder now to get to BS5
Yeah.
than it was before. Some legions can, like Ultramarines, as long as they've got a fire group that consists of five or dice or more, they can. Sorry,
Hmm.
the Imperial
The
Fist,
Imperial Fist, yeah.
but the Legion rule is just totally different now, isn't it? So talk us through
Yeah.
what it is and talk us through what this essentially
It's
means.
it's incredibly simple. Arguably, I'd say it's a little bit boring, but I will caveat that it is very from the outset, because when I first saw this, I was like, God, this is just whatever. It is very, very good.
Okay,
Like with the games I played, this is good.
right.
You just get an extra, effectively, you get an extra reaction. Rules as written, what actually happens is that you will declare a reaction, and then you will say, I'll use my Ultramarines tactical flexibility, and you
Yeah,
reduce the reaction point by one.
right. Got it.
And I don't think there is a single reaction in the game that is more than one at the
No,
moment.
no, not that I've seen. That I did.
So
Yeah, not that I've seen. No.
you get a free reaction.
Yeah.
It's just as simple as that. Obviously, as Kerry has pointed out at the bottom, that if you don't have any reactions left and you technically declare it, you can't do it. But you
Mm.
obviously the first one you do, there's no reason that you just don't say
Don't just
I'm
do
using
it.
tactical.
Yeah.
Just do it
Okay.
straight away.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
So
That's actually good to know. Actually, yeah.
yeah,
That's something to
so
get caught up.
most people's 3K lists, you'll be having two for being 3,000 points.
Mm.
You'll be an Ultramarine, so you get a third one, and then
Mm.
often most people will have a Praetor or a Master of the Legion, which gives you
Mm.
four.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's just keep that in mind as I think as
Yeah.
we start talking about this.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's good to know. I
Yeah,
suppose like two things just to unpick there. Number one is that, yeah, for me, it means at 3K, I don't necessarily need to take a Praetor
no,
because I can unlock the third reaction that way if I
yeah,
want to. So I might be able to save some points there. But also, the other thing that it might encourage me to do is then go, okay, well, I get an extra reaction. What's another way that I can get lots more reactions in my list?
yeah,
Augur command squads,
yeah,
tarantulas, to
yeah,
really lean into the fact that actually, like, that one has given me one step on the ladder. So let's just go all the way up the ladder and see how far we can, what
yeah.
insanity that we can create with
Well,
reactions.
yeah. As we talk about this later on, like the list I took for an event this weekend just gone.
Mm.
I had 9 reactions in my opponent's turn,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
which is insane.
yeah. But all
Um,
I'd say is, I suppose that any legion can do that. They would just
it's
have
true.
eight.
It's true.
But I suppose psychologically for Ultramarines players, it's just now about going, I'm taking one step on the ladder, so I might as well take several steps up that ladder, isn't it?
Exactly that.
That's the thing.
And
Yeah.
I do think with saying, I think sometimes, yeah, you can caveat, well, every legion into it, but they're
Mm.
not.
Yeah.
I don't think I have it in the games I've played, no one has sort of lent necessarily into it
Mm.
as much. And I do think it unlocks certain things because you're then less precious about your reactions as
Mm.
well,
Yeah, okay,
having the
that's a good
extra
point.
one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's
yeah.
good. Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Just to say as well, it's not in the game, it's actually per turn. So one extra reaction
but
per
yeah,
turn.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, let's have a look
Um,
what is next. So yeah, walk us through the gambit, the Aegis of
Yeah, so if you choose the Aegis of Wisdom, if you choose this particular gambit, instead of getting bonuses from outside support, you get +1 to your focus roll. So usually you would get +1 per 5 models, I believe it is, for
mm,
outside support.
mm,
Instead, you gain +1 to the focus roll for every Ultramarine command model on the board,
mm,
and not including in this the particular person. So
mm.
you know if you have 3 other command models, you'll be getting +3
Yeah.
in the challenge.
Yeah.
Which I can't say I've ever used yet.
Mm,
I often use other ones,
yeah.
which I'll go on to. But I think because we'll talk about the Ultramarines detachment, you have to take an Optae, so that's another one.
Mm,
Um, so it does stack up.
Mm.
But often, I don't often use this. I often find myself using things like finishing blow or
Mm.
the Seize Initiative
Yeah.
rather than this.
Yeah. I think the thing about this is that it's fine if you're in a smaller unit. Let's say
Yeah,
you're in a five-man squad of Suzerain and
yeah,
you'd only be getting like one for outside
yeah,
support, or you're in a small command squad of like three guys, or even better, a Saturnine Praetor with like three
yeah,
Saturnines there. The problem where it starts to fall down on this, I think, is well, fall down is probably wrong. In those situations, it probably is quite good because like a Saturnine Praetor with
hitting.
like three extra, on the focus roll is good if you've got three extra command. Where it comes unstuck a little bit is if you're in a 20-man spoiler squad and then you've got
Sure.
your Praetor in there, you probably want the outside support because you just get like four from that anyway. It's
Hmm.
unlikely you're probably going to have like four extra command on the board. So I suppose it just gives you a bit of flexibility there, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I like it, and I think this whole thing actually, this is also segueing into it's not just reactions, but I also think kind of a top heavy command structure and leadership structure is quite a big thing in the
For sure.
in the Ultramarines, which is we will come to this as we go, but it's definitely
Yeah,
something
I think you want
that
that.
yeah
I think just to you talking about whether or not you take a Praetor or not. I'd been like tossing that up quite a lot
yeah
when I was making various lists, and I was like, oh well, you could deny that 3 points,
mm,
those 3 points if you
mm,
don't take for Slay the
mm,
Warlord. And I was
mm.
like, well, it gets me an extra detachment, and it
Yeah,
gets me another reaction,
reaction,
which
yeah.
I think will probably. And what's so 3 points is a tactical squad on an
Mm.
objective for one turn. It's
Hmm.
like I'll take that hit. I'll
Yeah,
take the hit.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's a fair point. That's a totally
yeah,
fair point. Cool. Okay, let's
um,
have a look. What is
yeah.
next? So, talk us through Retribution Strike. So, this is the same, but it's something called slightly different this time because before was it called Retribution Strike? I don't think it
Yeah,
was.
it was
Or was it?
something like this. I think it was something like that. Yeah, it
Yeah. Okay.
was.
Cool.
It's kind of the same but slightly different.
Okay. Cool. Walk us through this one because
Yeah, so
this is
effectively,
one of the stronger ones, isn't it? Within the
yeah,
game.
so effectively, yeah, once per game. So this is one of the ones that you can use once per you only use once per game because there are
Yeah.
some which are multiple.
Boo. Yeah.
Boo, sadly. So yeah, when an Ultramarines unit is the target of a shooting attack, a second Ultramarines unit that have line of sight to that original firing unit may shoot them in step two.
Mm.
Oh, sorry, step 11. Sorry, I mean Roman numerals, right? Of course. Sorry. Step 11. So they get the casualties part. So effectively, it means that if one tactical squad shoots at another tactical squad, my Volkite Culverin squad, if they have line of sight to the shooting unit, can shoot them instead,
Yeah.
which is great. Obviously, it's not the same as what it was before because both things could shoot back,
Mm.
which was pretty damn wild. But
Yeah.
in this one, it's quite good for protecting things like tanks. It can be quite good at protecting your Lord of War as well, because
Hmm.
the Lord of War isn't the one reacting; it's a
Yeah.
different unit reacting,
That's a
which
good
is
point.
pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, because Lord of War can now only react against other
Other Lords of
other
War,
Lords of
Super
War.
Heavies, or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So that can be quite good to protect
Yeah,
your
that's a
Cerberus or
good
something.
point. Yeah,
Mm,
I think that encourages. I mean, it's going to encourage long range firepower. So things
yeah.
like heavy sports squads. I mean, essentially things that can react at full PS, right? So heavy
Mm,
sports squads and rapier squads and things like
yeah.
that are going to be
Yeah.
particularly useful. But even at close range, melter squads or something like that, this plasma squad, this could be, I think, quite useful in certain
Yeah, for
situations.
sure. It's definitely one of those ones where it's like night, like a Europe. Obviously, I always make sure to tell my opponent this is what this does because it can be a bit of a gotcha.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I'm just going to shoot at this tactical. Oh wait, I've just blown
Oh
your
wait, yeah,
objective.
my
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
So I didn't use it too much actually over the weekend just gone. I think I maybe used it once or twice. I think I was playing on quite a lot of boards with a lot of cover.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I think
um,
that was literally the point I was going to say,
mm,
which is that it's all very well and good, kind of being able to return fire or retribution strike with a heavy sports squad, but if the terrain is nothing but medium and heavy, and you
yeah,
can't draw a line of sight to where you want to go, then it becomes less good. Which is why then like a support squad, plasma support squad or a
can be better.
contemptor or whatever,
Mm,
which can move, which is more mobile.
yeah,
Um, it might be, yeah, it might be useful. Like I can see
slightly
this
better.
working on like a plasma, double plasma contemptor. Like this could be
Yeah,
quite
double
useful.
plastic contemptor, like Sat 9 as well. That could see
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Sat
yeah, yeah,
9
yeah,
dreadnought. Sorry, contemptors.
yeah.
Terminators.
Terminators, yeah, yeah, yeah.
No,
Double,
no joke.
double,
Double.
double plasma bombard. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
It's still. I think it's still very good, and I think it's going to be one of those ones that when it goes off and you get something big. It's
It will be game. It will be turn determining at the very
100%.
least.
Yeah,
Yeah. Cool.
100%.
Okay, awesome. Right. Well, good to hear that
Yeah,
that's positive. Let's have a look at
yeah. Next one.
what we've got next.
Yeah.
So we have had many a WhatsApp conversation about this one. I I really like this. This is not in my top three, but it certainly probably is top five
Yeah.
in terms of specialist auxiliary detachments. But the most unusual thing about this detachment is that basically it can go for as many points as you have. It's like an infinite
Yeah. It's
auxiliary detachment,
so
isn't
this
it?
is a yeah, this is a bit of a funny one. So I've tried to figure out this, and I've tried to go deep into the tank to figure out what GW were actually saying when they wrote these rules,
Yeah.
because in there's like contradictory things in it, because when you talk about HQ slot of command unlocking further detachments,
Mm.
in one part of the paragraph it says only ones in your primary detachment, and
Right.
then when you talk about when it talks about it in the auxiliary detachment, it
Mm.
says per command slot filled,
Mm.
you get another detachment. So
Yeah.
rules as I think personally, rules as written, I mean, whether or not you would do it or not, it does self-replicate
Yeah, that's
itself.
how I would understand it as
Yeah,
well.
rules as written. Whether or not that's what they intended, I don't know.
Mm.
But it's not game breaking. And if somebody wants to run 36 Optaes, you know what? Good on you. You
Yeah,
could
fair
have that
play,
one.
right? Yeah. 36,
But yeah,
36 points on the focus roll though. That would be
amazing.
that would be good for your
Immediately
play
won
tool.
it. This like cacophony of like Vox traffic as he's like they're like hit him over there, hit him over
Yeah,
there.
yeah. You'll always be going first, unless you're going against Raven Guard and they hit you
Yeah.
once and then that's it. They'll go first. Cool.
So
Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
So in terms of what's in it, it's. I mean, we'll come to the Optae in a second, but essentially we've got a prime slot, which is useful in and of itself
yeah,
because you've got the opportunity to take a logistical benefit there.
yeah,
You've got I want to say fast attack is that one.
yeah, yeah,
A support, and then two troops as well. Now the troops I think probably can come in quite handy. I think for me personally at 3k, I'd be looking to always take like at least 5 to 6 line units of like just
yeah.
tacticals. That might sound a little unusual to people, but I think that personally for me, I think gone are the days of like big 20-man blobs. Like I think that the risk of tactical statuses are so much that really I think it's going to be 10-man squads with a nuncio, and then that's going to that just replicated across
Yeah,
the battlefield.
yeah, I think so. I think I ran I've been running like a 15 man with some sort of character in it.
Yeah, yeah,
There's like a home objective,
yeah,
like with an apothecary,
yeah.
and that's done quite well.
Okay, okay.
But other
That's
than
good to
that,
know.
it's just boys in
Yeah,
boxes up the
yeah,
board, like
yeah.
exactly that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if you are looking to do that, then the troops are useful because you only have 4 within the
Hmm.
primary. Support is always useful because
Yeah.
it's support. It's a chocker block slot, and then the first strike is interesting. Um, it's difficult because I would have loved this previously, but I think javelins and Praetor speeders are just so flimsy in a damage 3 and damage 2 world now.
Yeah, I think yeah there's nothing in the fast attack one which I'm super in love with. I think
No.
maybe if you wanted more status stuff on your
On the
Proteus
Proteus,
speeders,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you could stick some stuff in.
Flamer Agrav
Um,
maybe or something like that.
yeah, but I mean I think in terms of without outside just looking at the rules, I think it's a fun little detachment in terms of how the Ultramarines command structure works. Is that you then
Yes.
have your Optae, and then he's
Yes.
commanding these little bits,
Yeah. Okay. Well,
which is
we've
cool.
talked about the Optae a lot.
Mm.
Let's
Let's
dig
dig deep,
into him.
dig deep
Yeah.
into this one,
So
shall we?
because the Optae is important here because if you take Remus Ventanus as a command slot, he's got Officer of the Line 2, and then he can unlock 2 of these, and then that Optae can then lock. An Optae can unlock another one of these, and then the
Hmm.
Optae on the other one can unlock another. So that's how you can get very quickly sort of self-replicating Primus Demi companies
Yeah.
with quite a number of quite useful, if not elite slots. But then you've got the logistical benefits, so you can take
Hmm.
the elites and things like that. So they're quite flexible. This is quite flexible. The Optae itself is interesting because he's like middle management, right? He's got a 3
He
up
is.
save. He's got multiple wounds. He's got weapon skill 5, I think.
Yep, he
He's got
does.
has he got 5 up invuln, has he?
He doesn't have an invuln. He's a 3+ no
He's just 3
invuln.
up. So basically, he's just kind of like a beefed up kind of veteran, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like that's essentially what he is with weapon skill 5. You can give him a whole panoply of stuff. You can give him a shield if you wanted to. You can give
Yeah.
him a legatine axe. You can give him like he can take a whole load of stuff, but then you're getting quite expensive in terms of what
Mhm.
what of that Optae, right? I mean, do you feel there's much place for an Optae over just the regular command slots, or
Well, I
not?
mean, you
I mean,
have to take
yeah,
you've
you've
got
got
to
to,
take
yeah,
it in
yeah,
this. Like that's the thing. I think I wouldn't be taking him as one of my core three because there's a lot of juicier options to
yeah.
take. But in terms of how he works, I think I've used him. I've used him with a unit of despoilers and a
Hmm.
rhino,
Hmm.
and he has. You give him a pair of lightning claws, which is a little bit expensive. It's 20 points,
Mm.
but he has then 5 attacks
Okay.
with his lightning claws.
Yeah.
You can also make him. I mean, obviously, immediately people think, oh, well, like you said, the logistical benefit. Fair
Mm.
enough. It's a good way to do that, but you can make him a paragon of battle.
Yeah, that's a
So
good
he
point.
becomes weapon skill 6, and he has
Hmm.
4 attacks, which is really good.
Hmm.
Or make him a combat veteran if you want to boost up a unit.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good point.
so he becomes leadership 10 and cool 9,
Mm.
which is pretty good.
Mm.
And I think you could. That's when you start layering him in like into those key units you want to keep alive when
Mm.
if you've got your a character like this and then maybe you're like, right, I want to invest in an apothecary,
Mm.
and then suddenly statuses become a lot less scary from
Mm.
things like the -1 statuses, like your havoc launchers and all that kind of
Mm.
stuff, right?
Mm.
Because you have this extra buffer, this another wound that you have to, like another 2 wounds you got to chew through
Mm.
to then negate these units from scoring,
Mm.
which is such a big
Yeah,
thing.
that's interesting. I hadn't really considered giving him combat vets, but like if you give him a shield and then put him in a squad of breaches, because they're
Yeah,
going to get +1 to their cool on top of that as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Um, which is what will that take them to cool 9 or what is he
So
base?
combat. He's cool. He's cool 8 base, which
Okay,
takes
so
him,
then up to 9 for combat vet,
and
and
then
then up to
10.
10 for.
Mm.
Yeah, okay, okay, okay. I'm more
I think,
convinced than I
I
was
think
before.
with how the game plays,
Mm,
and I've played like missions outside of just the core ones, which
mm,
I think are bad.
mm,
Even then, a lot of things are only 4 turns,
mm,
so you like scoring early on and staying scoring as long as you can.
mm,
If we're getting down to the nitty gritty, if that's what the
mm.
people want, like want to
That's what
hear.
they want. That's what they want.
That's what they want. I mean,
The people watching this
it's
are about
so big.
spreadsheets. That's what
Yeah,
these guys are about.
it's so big.
Yeah.
It's so big.
Mm,
And that's why I think and we'll talk about it later on. I think why people disregarded apothecaries,
mm,
but I think when you start looking into what they actually do and
mm,
how that then influences your army and how you're actually like winning a game and functioning in
mm.
a game, it's pretty big. So I rate him.
Okay.
It's funny they're talking about the self-replicating thing. It's how I've seen people before Suzarin got Thunderhammers, how
Mm.
they were making Suzarin because you can make him weapon skill 6, you can give him a shield and give him a Thunderhammer.
Oh, and basically your Suzerain, right? Yeah, that's
4 attacks for
interesting.
the Thunderhammer,
Yeah,
and
that's a bit
and
naughty.
he
That, yeah.
also he's initiative 5, so he would be 4 attacks of a Thunderhammer, initiative 3, so he swings
Wow.
quicker than
Yeah.
certain
How
people,
many
which is
wounds is he?
pretty.
Is he 2 wounds or 3
2
wounds?
wounds, yeah,
2
2
wounds.
wounds. So
Okay.
he's
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
that's a bit daft, and he can take a jump pack as well for what it's worth.
Okay, that's really interesting.
So
I'm more convinced than ever that the Opta's got a place, but I think he's got a place as a babysitter for tacticals and breaches, right?
and
I
other
think so.
yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
despoilers and things like that.
and
Okay,
not
cool.
don't invest too much because if you do, then he just starts to get too
Yeah, because you might
expensive,
as well
and
just be
you're
like, oh, I'll take a centurion, and then
yeah, yeah,
or I'll
yeah.
take a chaplain or whatever, right?
Or
That's the
like,
message.
or even just for 100, if he gets to 100 points, I should just take another tactical squad, right?
Literally
It's
that.
like,
Yeah,
yeah.
literally that.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay,
cool.
great assessment there of the
All
Opta
right.
maker.
What are we on next?
Yeah, talk us through. So, Legside Axe. Yeah, so
Hmm.
talk us through this one. Do you think it's got a nerf, or do you think it's kind of about the same as what it was
So I
before?
think it's about the same because
Mm,
I think it was attack +1. Yeah, it was exactly the same as before, right?
mm,
I
mm.
don't think it's changed.
No.
I think in a world of like less attacks
Mm,
and just like the Thunderhammer still being a Thunderhammer and you wanting damage too, I think he's less of a an attractive choice
yeah,
personally.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's still good. Like like they're still good on the Suzerain that will have them.
yeah.
Um,
Because I suppose the thing about that is that when it's massed,
mm,
when it's en masse, that's when it's probably better. When it's just like a one-off guy, you might be better just taking like lightning claws or whatever, just
lightning
for the extra
claws or
two
something.
attacks or something. Yeah, right.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
a, and to be fair, it's pretty reasonable. So it's a 5 point upgrade for a power axe.
Okay, so it's 15 points
So
in total.
15 points, or on like a Centurion
Hmm.
in, or like something in the Terminator armor with power weapon, it's only 5 points.
Okay, okay, yeah, that's
So
interesting. Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
I mean a lot of sort of stuff, but then so I think is a pair of lightning claws. So you know,
And
yeah,
yeah, yeah, it's fairly well balanced, but I think en
it
masse is
is
probably going to be this is going to be it. But the
for
other
sure.
thing that really excites me is actually the Garum pattern shield.
Yeah, the
Um,
shield
talk us through the
is.
shield because this is a bit tasty. This one, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's like it was before in terms of the stats. It's
Mm,
second, so 5 plus invuln on shooting
mm,
and 4 plus invulnerable in close combat, which
mm.
is pretty cool.
That's really good. Yeah.
Obviously great for obviously for Suzerain, keeping them
Mm,
alive.
mm.
And then the key thing is any command or champion can take the shield. So make sure when you're looking through your units what has command and what has champion,
Okay.
because a
Yeah.
lot of funny things have champion. I think some of the I was this just looking through my book. I think some of the like Tartarus squads, or like
Yeah. The sergeant of the Tartarus
the
squad.
Sarge, like for
Yeah.
example, can take it.
Yeah.
I think like some of the command squads can as well.
Yeah.
Like if you were to like Master Sergeant something, he'd make.
Yeah.
I think he becomes a champion, and then you
Yeah.
could take it.
Yeah. That's
It
interesting.
it also gets around some of the characters that are equipment locked.
Hmm.
So you're, for example, if you want, because so another thing is it makes them heavy, right? And
Yes.
gives them, so it gives them the shield reaction, and it
Makes them heavy.
makes
Yeah.
them heavy. So shield
Yeah.
reaction is if the majority of your models have this that keyword or whatever it is, you
Mm,
get to do the shield reaction, which gives you a +1 toughness, right?
mm,
When you get shot at, be
mm,
it I think in Overwatch or like volley fire,
hmm
or in the shooting phase.
hmm
So it means that you can then put this bit of equipment on certain characters to either make them heavy or
mm,
give them the shield
mm.
roll, and then put them with things that also have that,
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
which is quite good. So then it means that you're then obviously upping the cool of certain models because they become heavy, which
Mm,
is quite good.
yeah.
So for the Optae, if you gave him a shield and then say, yeah, as you said, put him with some breaches or with some
Yeah. I
Terminators.
think they've got to
Um,
have exclusive. Yeah, they've got to have heavy. All the unit has to have heavy to gain the
yeah,
benefits, I
yeah,
think. Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah, but I
giving
think
that,
that's yeah, I think yeah, breaches is a really exciting prospect for this one. But I like this a lot, particularly with like an Octane or whatever. I think this is a good option. A four up
yeah,
invuln. A four up invuln. That's the same as a Praetor's invuln. Like
exactly.
that's like invulns don't get better than that. I don't think in the game. Like not even like a Paragon has a better invuln than that, right? So
Mm, yeah,
yeah.
it's good. And I think if you like wanted to put a Master of Signals with your cataphracti Terminators and you
Mm.
wanted them all heavy, you could give the Master of Signals a shield, right? And
Yeah, that's a
stick him
really
with
good point. Yeah, I hadn't really considered that.
um
He's not a specialist. They Master of
he's
Signals.
is he a command? I think he's command, isn't he? Is
Is he?
he
I would
command
I would
types?
assume he's master.
He is command.
He
He
is
is
command, so
command,
he can
yeah.
have it. Can he? Yeah, you got to be
The
careful about. Yeah,
Praevian could have it.
yeah,
Esoterus could have it. Like there's lots of things that
yeah,
don't have Terminator or heavy options that you can give this to if you were so inclined. So
yeah. Okay, yeah. Champion, yeah. Champion with a four up in bun, but might be pretty
yeah,
cool as
with a
well,
jump
right?
pack and a 4 plus invuln, like
Yeah, yeah,
flying across
yeah.
the board.
Yeah,
No
that's true.
joke.
I think from what I remember, I don't think you can give them to. I think it's only infantry and not
Oh,
Let
does
me
it say?
just
Let's have a look.
let's just have a quick look
No,
at it.
it just says any model with the command or champion subtype.
Ah, right. So you can. That's literally insane. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's yeah. Very strange that one. Okay, cool. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
lots of
Yeah,
food for thought with that one.
flying around. Yeah.
With
Okay,
his
cool.
shield and like
Yeah.
your 30 Optaes with their shields done to Amazon jump packs. Right? You see how it works, right? Just as Guilliman
Yeah, that's
intended.
absolute madness. Love it. I love it already. Cool. Okay, let's have a
um,
look at
yeah,
what
next one.
is next. So,
Hmm.
Logistica. Now, this is a really interesting one. This one,
Mhm.
um, because I think that there's actually um, so essentially it allows a transport, and it could be a heavy transport or just a normal transport, to be able to take
Yeah.
+2 extra capacity in it. So a Land Raider, it goes from 12 to 14. But in order to do that, it's a prime slot. and then that prime slot needs to open a logistical benefit,
Yeah.
and then from there you then get it. So you're sacrificing the flexibility of the logistical benefit to take a transport of some kind, but that
Yeah.
transport will have +2. Now, I think this for me is less useful on things like Spartans, but units like rhinos and I just imagine them sitting on each other's laps. That's essentially
Yeah.
all it allows.
The
But
clown court. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But rhinos and land raiders having,
Hmm.
because a rhino is capacity 12 now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it was before, but it still is. A 14-man tack squad hopping out of a rhino, or a 14-man despoiler squad hopping out of a rhino, is actually a pretty frightening prospect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, you know, and rhinos are so good now
It's
that
so
actually
stupid.
it's just, yeah, as I say, they're just carrying the two in their
Yeah.
arms on their lap.
Love it.
But I mean, it allows you to take an extra, if you've got a squad of Terminators, whatever, it allows you to take an extra character, allows you to
Hmm.
take, if it's in Terminator armor, it allows you to take an extra, Terminator. Yeah, it's actually quite useful, I think, and
Hmm.
I tried to make it work with Saturnine, but I think even then I can only squeeze 3 Saturnine into
Yeah.
each Land Raider.
Yeah, I think it's more if you wanted to try and squeeze in the Saturnine Praetor into something is probably the way to
Right.
do it, or a
Yeah.
Saturnine Centurion
Yeah. Yeah.
into like with some Terminators or some like 10
Yeah.
Suzerain or something, right? But then
Yeah.
fit in with
With the Saturnine
with the
Praetor.
Saturnine Praetor if you were so inclined to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought of it actually with 14 despoilers in a rhino, because the thing that I kind of hate about large squads
Mm.
is them just, if you're trying to hide them, is
Yeah.
they just get blasted with how like wound
Yeah. You see
allocation
a little
works.
foot of one, and then
Yeah, and then they all just get blasted by
Yeah.
like the 30 Seekers on the other side of the board from you.
Yeah.
So being able to hide them, yeah, in the rhino, get them up, out is quite good. I like that
Yeah. Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot.
I think it's got play. I think lots of the things I would say about the Ultramarines is it never gives me like raging hard on
No,
like moments, but there's always stuff in it that I'm like,
you're like,
that
oh,
could be quite useful. And
yeah.
then the accumulation of just stuff that's like, oh, that could be useful. And if you put it all into your list, it then creates something. Then it can create something quite sexy, I think. But you've got to work
Yeah,
hard to get it off.
yeah, it's this is why I said it was this the Legion rules have basically changed
Yeah,
to how you construct your army now.
yeah, 100%.
But I think it adds, like you said, it adds up, and then it's like,
Yeah,
oh, actually, this is quite good. And because I think if you're, like I said, if you're wanting the nuts and bolts and you're coming into it, it's less that I want like, oh, my Ultramarines being super like fluffy and this is how they work and blah blah blah, and it's like, right, how am I going to win this game?
yeah,
I think they do it very well
yeah,
because you have like little advantage, little
mm,
advantage,
mm.
and then you're in the 10D chess,
Yeah,
which is what we
yeah,
love.
yeah. That's fair. That's
Um,
fair. Cool.
so
Yeah, I
yeah,
like that a lot. Okay, cool. All right, let's have a
yeah,
look at what's next. So I think we're
yeah.
about to go into the units, if I'm not wrong.
The
Yeah, so
suzerain.
Suzerain. Now, the important thing to notice about these guys is that they did get their Thunderhammers back, didn't they?
You betcha they did. We're
Which is
back,
quite
baby.
quite important because it went from a unit that was only really good for killing kind of just chaff to a
Yeah,
unit that actually can now go toe to toe
with the
with
boys. Hmm.
other elite like other elite units, and that's
Yeah,
important because of the weaponry it could take. Um, let's take us through the rules, and then at the end we will, like, once we've gone through the rules, we'll
yeah.
discuss if you did a squad of 10, how
What would you
many
do?
Thunderhammers, and then
Would you take?
how many
Yeah,
axes you take. Because I've got a feeling I think I'm about there, but I'll
yeah,
let the expert, because I've never run Suzerain in all
yeah.
the years I've
In
played
all your
them.
life.
I've not
Yeah.
I've not taken them. So
Ugh,
yeah,
call yourself
the true son
a
of Ultramar,
tetrarch.
barely.
Yeah, God, yeah.
Exactly.
You're
Cool.
not
Okay.
like what's his face who has like the 1,000 suzerain,
Yeah. Yeah.
whichever
Yeah.
tetrarch
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So yeah, the suzerain, they're an elite slot. So obviously there's quite a hotly contested slot. There's a
Mm.
lot going on in that one. Obviously, but once again, we've got our Optae, so which can
Yeah,
logistical
logistical
benefit these guys
benefit.
in.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
So, like I said, you navigate a lot of the trickier bits. But anyway,
Mm,
so 175 for five of them, with 30 for an additional model up to an extra five, and they are heavy, which is what they were before.
mm,
They also have the shield rule as well,
mm.
so they can get that +1 toughness. So they kind of become Terminators. Yeah, Lords of Ultramar. If they're not under a status, then a friendly non-vehicle unit within 12 inches may use the Suzarin's characteristics to remove a status in the status's subphase. We
So
see what the legacy next. As we can,
yes,
yeah, we can, yeah. So we
yeah,
can, yeah. So
yeah,
with this, it's pretty good.
yeah.
Um, like they are
Because
the
their call
anchor.
isn't. I mean, I assume that friendly unit would have to use their base
Yeah,
characteristic.
I think it says base characteristics. So
Yeah,
if you were to
you couldn't use
now
the
whether
10.
or
You have to
not,
use the 9.
yeah, so whether or not they could be combat veteraned up
Oh,
to
yeah. Of
10,
course, yeah. They'll be able to do that. Yeah,
yeah, but you wouldn't be able to use their like from being heavy, I would
yeah,
assume.
yeah.
Which
That
is
was
how
my
I sort of
assumption when
understand
I
that.
read the
Yeah.
rule as well. But yeah, making these combat vets, and this is actually a good lead in now to the second element and the second spoke of the Ultramarine wheel, which is actually I think about leadership.
Hmm.
Which is I think it's about reactions and leadership, and those, and we'll talk a little bit later about where else the leadership is important with the Inductii. But I think if you had a couple of these giving out their bubble, like a 12-inch bubble is pretty substantial. They're cool 9. You make them combat vets, they
Yeah.
become cool 10. These guys are just making everything hardier, making things stick around. You're combining
Hmm.
that with Optaes. You can buy blah 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 blah, whatever, right?
It's players on
And
theirs. Yeah.
this is I think the second spoke of the Ultramarines will that I think that we need to talk about kind of moving forward. But yeah, sorry to interrupt. This is really good.
No, no, I
The other thing
think
to point out is that for each additional one, they're 30 points. The Legatine Axe alone is a 15-point upgrade,
yeah.
right? And then how much does a Graham boarding shield cost? Is it?
Let's have a look. I'm still in it. Let me just go to the other page. So it's a 15-point
Yeah.
upgrade.
So for each one, right, you're paying, they're 30 points. That's just like their equipment. That's not even like the rules that they come with. Their
Mhm.
weapon skill 5 or their 2 up save or whatever.
Yeah.
These are really well costed for what they are and what they do, I think.
Yeah. I think they really are. And now the fact that they can
Yeah.
take their thunder
I
hammers
don't
again.
resent buying a Thunderhammer for these guys,
No,
considering that it's just,
no.
you know,
And the thunder hammer, I'll see if I find out what they cost. I think it's about 10. I think it's a 10-point
it's 10
upgrade.
points. Yeah, it's 10 points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is a no-brainer. 40
Yeah.
points.
No
Sign
brainer.
sign me up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think escorting characters. I haven't. I've played with these a couple of times. I don't know whether or not they need the character still, because in second it was always that putting a character in a Suzerain squad was a complete waste. They didn't
Yeah.
need it.
Yeah.
They were
Because
just
they were just
complete.
10 characters on their
They
own.
were just 10 dick kickers,
Yeah.
and you just let them do what you want to do. And to be honest, I think with how this edition will play, I think I'd probably still do it, because I want my characters in other units, like in a big tactical squad,
Yeah.
or like a
Yeah. Fair.
15 man.
Yeah.
And these guys just go, they anchor point of the line, they go push something shit in, and then they move on.
Anchor point of the line is a really good way to describe it,
Yeah.
because they're anchor point in terms of their combat efficiency, but also in terms of that leadership bubble. I
Mhm.
think like they can just, and I think that this is also quite critical in the way that you run them, which is that they can be running Land Raiders, but actually 5 of them can just be running a Rhino,
You
and you
can,
have
yeah.
multiple smaller units, and they are, as you say, the line in which
Yeah.
kind of everything kind of like they are the anchor points in which the whole army is kind of like gaining
Is
and
around,
benefiting
yeah.
from that cool 9 or cool 10 if you take combat vets.
Yeah. I think, because I think you probably could get away with the Rhino, because if realistically I think you'd be set up 2 inches with these guys
Yeah,
if
you
you
still
got,
go
yeah.
far, is it? Yeah,
So the fact that your Rhino moves 12 anyway, and the Land Raider is 10, is it?
yeah, it's 10, I think.
Yeah, so it's the same.
Yeah,
In terms of, obviously it's a bit hard. The Land Raider is infinitely hardier,
yeah,
but
yeah.
if you think you can just move quick and just land and just Rhino these guys in,
Mm.
it does work. I think it is like, I've been sort of thinking about this, like post playing like an extra like 4 or 5 games with them. I think it kind of shows how the the ultras might work quite well as like a combined arms. So you're adding in other elements, perhaps like
Mm,
humans into here as well,
mm.
because friendly units are just friendly units.
Oh, that's a great
And
point.
if you
Yeah.
think of like, obviously, you wouldn't necessarily think to begin with, but militia, militia
Mm.
can capture points even when they're statist.
Oh, right. Okay. Wow. Holy crap.
So
Wow.
you only get like one VP or something, I
Yeah,
think it
yeah,
is,
yeah. But
but
they can still
you're still
capture it.
but you still capture it even if you
Yeah,
statist.
yeah, yeah.
And when you have these guys buffing them up to 9, and
That's
one
like
final thing I'll
fascinating.
say on these is the order. And we had this come up in a game, and
Yeah.
we sort of read through the rules to see how it works, and it does work like this. So let's say I had an instance where I had two units running away. One was a Suzerain unit, and
Mm.
one was another unit, right, that was in 12 inches. If the
Oh, they're going to
Suzerain
be the
rally first,
Suzarin. Okay, they can
then they are
benefit.
rallied, and then
Yeah.
the other unit benefits.
That's interesting, that isn't it? Yeah, the way in which that ordering
So you
works.
as long as they rally and they are no
Yes.
longer statist,
Yeah,
then the other unit
can
can
benefit.
use their, yeah, which is kind of cool because they're like,
Interesting. Well,
you know, hold the line.
when the studio team listen to this, they're going to make a correction of the fact, aren't they? That's what's gonna bloody happen here.
Yeah, yeah,
Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so talk to us. So they
yeah,
can now take Thunderhammers. So in a squad of
yes,
10, because I think you can only max out a squad of 10. Unfortunately, my
yeah.
14 slot Rhino won't be taking 14
No,
Suzerain units. In a squad of 10, how many Thunderhammers should I be taking, do you think?
I I've always been a fan of the 6 and 4, six
6 and
hammers
4.
for. I think probably you could go 50-50 at least.
Yeah,
If you
my
had the
my gut kind of
points.
says 50-50. Yeah.
It's time to upgrade your battlefield with Sacrus Mundus terrain. Sacrus Mundus sculpt breathtakingly detailed and varied terrain that will bring your games of Horus Heresy to life. From the ruined cities of Armoria to the jungle vestiges of Lintrath, Sacrus Mundus design immersive battlefields for any type of tabletop wargaming experience you desire. Find their extensive terrain collections online right now.
Yeah,
But
that's
I like ever so slightly more weapons of what I want.
mm,
Just because
redundancy.
redundancy
Yeah,
is always nice.
yeah.
And for 10 points, I
Yeah,
can find 10 points somewhere.
yeah, yeah. For the cost these are, would you run them in a Rhino or would you run them in a Land Raider?
Uh as much as I love the humble rhino,
Mm,
they do die quickly. They are tougher.
yeah.
They're 12 on the front, which is good,
Hmm.
but they if these guys are stuck in the open in a
Yeah,
four-turn game,
they're
you're
gonna get
having a
killed.
bad time.
Yeah.
They're going to
Okay.
get killed. Whereas the Land Raider
Okay.
is so tough now, as we all know. If your opponent is, well, they probably are running a Kratos, but if you've managed to kill your opponent's Kratos, so you're smart and keep it away from it, this thing will live.
Yeah.
It will live.
Yeah.
There's no, and then they can get, to where they were. There's so many times in second edition did my my Land Raider with my Suzerain get blown up in the first turn, and I was
And
like, oh great, they're just stuck with their
yeah,
dicks in their hands for
walking across the board now.
the
Yeah.
Walker
Yeah.
Rain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, are so yeah, I think I'd still be inclined to, if I was taking one. If I was maybe taking two, maybe I'd go double rhinos. If I was taking 20 suzerain, it's
Mm,
being a dirty dog, that could be
mm,
quite fun, and
yeah.
they just come up the board.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Um,
Okay, cool.
so yeah,
Okay, I'm taking notes here. I'm taking notes, so that's good to know. Okay, let's have a
yeah,
look at our
yeah.
next
Where are we
unit.
next? Praetorians.
So these are interesting because I
Mm,
looked at these the other day. I was like, okay, let's actually sit there because obviously I knew we were going to do this episode, and I
yeah,
was like, okay, let's sit down. Let's see what these guys have got. Let's see if they're any good. Now, I it'd be great if they could go above 10. They can't,
yeah, yeah,
but they are in this weird, bizarre place, which is that they're kind of veterans,
but not.
kind of tactical marines, but not. They're 2 wounds apiece.
Hmm.
Then their weapon skill 4. They all come in with power swords, but people can take axes. They've got a pretty impressive call of 8.
Yeah,
Which knocks up to a 9 because they all have shields and they've obviously got the shield trait as well. And for each additional one, they're only 18 points. And like, bear in mind, they come with that boarding shield baked in, and they come with the power sword baked in. And a power sword would cost 10 points to take anyway. I actually think these are pretty reasonably for me pretty reasonably costed.
Yeah.
But it's again, they're always fighting because they're a similar like breacher unit. They're always going to be fighting against the Suzarin in terms of like, is it just better to take a Suzarin, right? Or
Yeah.
something like that, right? Because once you start upgrading things with Legatine axes, I assume the Legatine axe is just a 5-point upgrade.
Yeah, I'll just go to
Got the power
the
sword. But yeah, it's an interesting one. This one, I think they're actually pretty in an all right spot. What I don't know is whether they have line or anything like that. If they had line,
no,
I think no.
no, they don't. So I think I think when I saw these, I was like, oh, these are trash because I mean they lost. I mean they gained a wound, but they lost a pip of weapon skill,
Yeah.
which is a bit of a shame. The special rules none always just
Yeah.
kills me. It just
I want that on
cracks
I
me
want
up.
that on a t-shirt actually. I want to start
Yeah.
selling a special rule non-Heresy Hammer
Like when
t-shirts.
you see like a Mechanica Magos and he's got like half a page of the special rules, and then there's this prick who's like special rule none.
Baron Ashuradan.
Yeah, literally, yeah. I think so. I was looking, especially when the veteran assault marine, veteran breaches came out.
Yeah.
I was like, oh well, these just completely invalidate Praetorians. I was really mad.
Yeah.
So I think I had a look at them again, similarly when I was sort of prepping for talking about this. So I think firstly the fact that they are heavy assault, so they're not fighting for an elite slot for us with a Suzerain, which is quite nice.
Yeah, that's good.
I probably would put these guys in rhinos, to be fair, because they're not as fragile.
Yeah.
In terms of like, well, they're more fragile, but you don't really care if these
you
are
don't
getting
have
shot
to
right.
deliver them to the point.
Yeah,
that you need to get to. Like,
yeah,
you're really
exactly.
You're really delivering these to probably an objective.
Exactly. I think with like when we talk about this in terms of them not having any line or anything, they could be a good thing for perhaps a Master of Signals to be lining. What I think the big thing about them is that they're really cheap. So if you look at the point, so I totted it up. So on average, you're looking about 205 points for 10 of these. If you give them a power fist, it's 15-point upgrade, so 220 points. So a similarly armed veteran breacher squad is I think about 350 points.
Oh wow, that's a massive difference.
But the thing is they are weapon skill 5.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But that's still 150 points.
That's a massive
plus
difference,
just to give them power swords. That's with giving them power swords.
Yeah.
And maybe like a sprinkling of something else in. Like it's a lot. It's a lot. And that you haven't even bought them a transport then. Whereas these guys could have their transport and then still have some left over.
But points left over. Yeah, I like that. I like 1 or 2 units in a rhino of these guys, even if you just kept them as 5.
Yeah.
They've still got 5-man squad. Still got 10 wounds in total. And can try and bully a tactical squad of objectives.
There are 5+ in one, which is no joke. The 2 wounds is a huge thing in combat because they might just win. You get lucky and they just win out on combat res because there's just more of them and you haven't killed enough.
Yeah,
against like an assault squad or something, where they just can't chew through them.
Yeah, I think these have got a pretty good place. I agree with you. I think like 2 squads, in a rhino are pretty good. I mean, this is a good example of somebody like that Optae could potentially go with.
Definitely, yeah.
With a
hammer or something,
yeah,
or a fist, something
literally
just
that. Yeah, literally that. I quite like this. I think they're in a pretty good place. Whether we will see a lot of them, I don't know. But I like them a lot, and definitely a cool. The shields rock, don't they? Like the shields look awesome on these guys.
I definitely want to give them a go, and I think when we get the assault, well, they're already out, aren't they? The assault marines, they have those like circular shields.
Yeah,
I thought really cool for some like sort of Greek sort of iron snake sort of things. But I think I kind of rate them. I rate them more now than I did in second for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, doing the cost comparison, I think is it's
big.
Okay, cool. All right.
Where are we? All right, what we got next? The Inductii.
So these are interesting. So only came out the other day. I think we're probably not going to do kind of just a individual show on the Inductii, and we'll just kind of roll them into the deep dives. So I really love the fact that I think the Evocati, like one of the guys can be upgraded to like the Evocati, which is like links with Betrayer, if you guys have read that before, because Armatura is basically the war world, the training world, and then this word kind of Evocati kind of comes up time and time again. Um, these guys are, I think, in an interesting place, and they are also like the precursor of what we understand as a attack squad in 40k. What people understood as a attack squad before they were intercessors. They're 90 points for 10, and one Inductii might be swapped to an Evocatus intendant for 15 points. The Evocatus is probably, for me, quite a good upgrade because it just bumps up the leadership and cool,
Hmm.
which is pretty nice. But he also has Ballistic Skill 5,
Yeah.
which is pretty cheeky. They got Line 1, which is nice. I think that's pretty standard across the board unless they have
Yeah.
Vanguard for some reason. And then two of them can take special weapons. And then the Evocati can take a sergeant melee weapon as well. Now, when I saw the special weapons, I was like, "Ooh, which one would you take? Would
Yeah.
you take Melter for anti-tank? Would you take Plasma for anti-infantry? Would you take one guy with a rotor cannon and one guy with something else, or two with rotor cannons to try and get some statuses off or whatever?" I think basically what the conclusion I came to was that you can just specialize them for whatever job you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like they're going to be pretty cheap. They've got line 1. You chuck a couple of special weapons in there, and like in a rhino, away you go, really. But they do have this really cool leadership rule. Do you want to walk us through what the
Yeah.
leadership rule is? 'Cause
Yeah.
this
So
is again
certainty and
another,
resolve.
and
Yeah.
that other spoke, that leadership spoke of the Ultramarine wheel.
Yeah. So if you reach the board edge as part of a fullback move, immediately you remove routed and gain suppressed. So rather than having to test again, you just get it, which is
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
Additionally, when you make a leadership chest to remove routed, you roll 3d6 and ignore the highest.
that's
So,
great.
which is
Yeah,
great. And if you
yeah,
were
really good.
using your Suzerain's leadership,
Yeah,
you practically
yeah,
couldn't fail.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know how this would work in terms of Voxes. I guess you could do that because I don't know if they can take a Vox actually. They probably can't, I imagine. I'd have to
Not
check
sure. Yeah, I have to
actually.
check.
I imagine they probably can.
Mm.
There's usually the sort of thing that's like stuck into these rules when they get added in. But yeah, it's I rate them. I mean, first and foremost, I love them because I had in my previous Ultramarines, I had a 30k battle company, which I
Mm.
had with a bunch of Inductii, which I had was a lot of fun.
Mm.
And also being able to just say put whatever weapons you want
Yeah.
on a couple of melter guns. That's no joke.
No.
A couple of rotor cannons, even a couple of flamers. If you had
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
flamers,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and a flamer on top of it,
Mm.
it's like on top of your rhino,
Mm.
like you're
Yeah,
laughing.
that'll do some serious work. That, yeah, I like these a lot. I think these are pretty good, and lots of flexibility. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, a couple of flamers, a couple of rotor cannons, a rotor cannon, and a flamer for a status squad. So yeah, lots of things to be able to do here. So
and
I like that.
they
Yeah,
can indeed.
yeah,
Sorry, they can indeed take a Vox in this unit. I've just
yeah.
looked.
Okay, that's nice. And then the intendant can take. I assume he can take a combi weapon.
You can take a melter bomb. You can take a combi weapon, so you could have
Yeah.
three melters in here if you wanted.
Yeah. So see, what I would do. I mean, this is really naughty, but basically, you could go combi grav on him, flamer, and then a rotor cannon,
And a rotor cannon. Oof.
and then you'd be like, okay, so
See you later.
I'm gonna be causing at least one status on this unit. So yeah,
Yeah. I think they're one of the good ones. And all for 90 points starting. I mean,
yeah,
gosh, that's the
fun,
dream, isn't it? The
fun.
dream.
Love it. Okay, cool, nice. I like
All
this a
right.
lot. Yeah, I like it. Let's have a look. What's next?
What's
Because I
next?
think we're about to move to the legacies. Okay,
Yeah.
right.
The
This is
Locutarus.
This is, I've got so many thoughts and feelings about this. So I think it's important before we start this conversation that I caveat this by saying this was the anchor with which my list was based around,
Mhm.
and the tournament list that I won with at the GT in Gibraltar. The Locutarus were an important unit for me because they had a 2-up save.
Yeah.
They could have an apothecary with them, which I took. The sergeant could have a thunder hammer. They could basically do everything, and their swords were rending. That was the critical thing. The swords were rending 5
Yes.
up. So they were basically able to take on contemptors, but they were able to take on infantry as well. They basically did everything.
They did it all. Yeah.
However, what I would say now is that they are third for each one. Now they are their base cost. They're like 40 points per guy, but then every additional one is 38 points. Now,
Yeah.
I kind of did go. I kind of balked at that cost because I was like, bloody hell, that's
Yeah,
absolutely that is
expensive.
like when you look at like Suzarin in comparison, which are 30 points a dude, and for what they get, I was a bit like bloody hell. But actually, when I compared it to the price of like a kitted up, um, like Praetorian command squad, which I thought was
Mhm.
like pretty close in comparison, and a veteran squad. Well, Praetorian Command Squad is the best comparison because they've got a 2-up save, which a veteran squad can't get.
Yeah,
Um, I once you start adding weapons onto them and jump packs and stuff like that, they are fairly equitable in cost. It's the problem is with these guys is once you lose one, you're really going to feel it. Like you're
yeah,
really going to feel it. And they've only got to. The other thing I think that that they'll struggle with is that they've only got 2 attacks base, whereas like a command
yeah.
squad has 3,
So the
and they
vets as well.
and they only gain the additional attack when they're fighting units that are already tactical status. Now, again, you could say, well, Rob, you're going to cause a tactical status with your Inductii, so you can just like tandem these
Mm.
units. And I suppose that kind of sort of plays into the way that the Ultramarines used to play. But there's quite a lot to get that to get that off. But I suppose that is a play that you could go for. You
Yeah.
got to work to get your extra attacks. That's the thing.
You do. You don't longer just have to shoot the units you want to charge
No,
uh,
no,
with another unit. But
yes.
I mean, I because I think can you still give him an extra like a fancy? Yeah, you can still give him a thunder hammer in
Yeah,
this unit,
yeah, which is probably
which
sensible,
is
isn't it?
probably sensible. I mean, so I did some totting up. So yeah, the Locutarus like fully kitted out comes in at
Ooh, it's probably
like
400 points, isn't it? Or something
400
like that.
and something points, 405 points. If you give him, or
Oh my
400 something,
God.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of
So
points.
expensive.
The veteran assault squad with like, so I've got a squad in a list we'll talk about in a bit, which is claws, some like a hammer and some shields in there, and
Yeah.
it's like 300. It's like 300 points. So they're a lot more
Yeah.
expensive.
God, yeah.
So, but I think, and then because then I was like, because ultimately, interesting that you chose like the command squad because I was
Mm,
comparing them to the veteran assault
right.
teams,
Mm,
and I was like, they've got less attacks.
mm,
They've got the veterans have got Vanguard 3.
mm.
But I, having played with these veterans, Vanguard 3 doesn't mean shit because
Yeah.
you're never claiming
Yeah.
it, right?
Get it. Yeah.
So I spoke to a few people that have played against these.
Mm.
And I think they do work. I think that 2+ save is comes in
That's
clutch.
the defining thing.
Yeah, and keeping them alive and being a 12-inch move is perhaps no joke. The precision probably is quite good as well.
Mm.
Being able to
Yeah. Get rid of
precision out
like
things.
a Vexilla, a Nuncio, boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, getting rid of a Vexilla. Oh my god! I mean, how good is that?
Yeah.
Because Vexillas are just they're you win combats because of them.
Yeah.
I think they're worth a try. I mean, interesting you say you have your anchor unit, which was your herald and your whatchamacallit. I mean, the irony that these guys would be quite good with a herald still with a jump pack because
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
herald gives you
Agree.
fear, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So if you're trying to status things near this unit,
Yeah. That's a
your
good point.
fear 1 bubble will be
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah. That's a really good point. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think yeah,
the other one is that for this guy, I might consider a Master of Descent, bring him down behind
yeah,
a building,
for sure.
and then hop out. Yeah, if we want to get further. But that I think the Master of Descent play only works if you've got a heavily
Yeah,
populated
if you can do it.
board of terrain. Like if you haven't got a heavily populated medium and heavy terrain, then you're just going to get spanked off the table.
Yeah, I think you probably will. I'm thinking if you were to make these guys a prime slot, yeah, you could combat vet them. You could make your leader a master sergeant. He's already a champion, so he gets the extra leadership in there, which is quite nice.
Yeah, yeah, weapon systems.
Um, I think it's something that's going to need to be tried on the board because
Yeah.
they are really
They're
expensive.
not. I suppose what I would say is they're not an auto take in the way they were for me now.
No,
Like I've
no.
actually got to think about the units that I take, and yeah. So I think that they're probably, and as a result, they're actually probably in a better place if you got it.
I think yeah, for sure. And I think maybe they could be something where you would put a character in there with them just as a fighty character that would
Yeah.
then. I mean, to be fair, actually, I'm thinking of the Herald because the strike leader is a champion as well, so he can get those like honor points or whatever they're called with the
Yeah,
Heralds.
yeah, 100%. Yeah,
If he gave him something, so yeah, food for thought with these guys.
nice. Cool. Okay,
Um,
let's have a
all
look at
right.
what is next. So, Formantaris. So these
Yeah.
are in a really interesting place. I mean, they have a way with the Petriarch, or yeah, the
Whatever they
Peritac
call. Yeah.
targeter. They can increase ballistic skill. So if one guy's got it on an intelligence test,
Yeah.
they can increase the ballistic skill of the unit by one. Now,
They
that in
can.
itself is actually quite unusual to
It is
to
very rare.
to take place in this game nowadays. And I actually think that the splinter missiles being suppressive one are actually no joke. And I probably, to be honest, I'd probably always go for the splinter missiles. But the Hellfire plasma missiles being firepower two is also pretty good as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked at the the siege tyrants the other day. I was shocked to see that it's only like one, like, or one of the. It's no longer like two shots for the strength 8 one, right? It's for
Hmm.
whatever is the mega one is only like one shot. So yeah, I think these are actually in a pretty
Yeah.
healthy place.
Better than they were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely better than they were. I like them. Yeah, I don't hate them at all. And the fact they're heavy, so they're cool 9. But the fact that they can cause a status is yeah, it's pretty nice. And I mean, they're only weapon skill 4, but
You're never fighting with them, are you?
yeah,
Like,
you're just going to shoot at stuff, aren't you? At range.
yeah. Um, yeah. So I haven't used these yet. So a friend, so Nick Black Shields Nick has been
Mm,
converted to Ultramarines, and he played with some of these, and he was playing with 5 of them, and
mm,
he wasn't. He sort of came out of a couple of games and was like, I'm not too sure about them just because they don't have the quite. They're very expensive, I think, for
mm.
what they do. Like 290 points
Supply lies.
is a lot for 5 dudes. I mean, this can be a home for your Master of Signals. It
Yeah.
can be quite is what he was doing
Hmm.
because then they get intelligence 10 to
Mm.
make their targeter
Oh,
check,
that's a very good point. Yeah, that's a very good point.
which is quite good.
Yeah.
But so as you know, we're doing with the other units, I compare these to the Tartarus Siege Terminators,
Mm.
and the Tartarus Siege Terminators probably have a higher fire output than
Mm.
these in terms of damage.
Yeah.
Like 10 of those with all autocannons,
Yeah.
it's
And and their
450 points,
and their Vanguard, right?
and
As
their
well?
Vanguard, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're 450 points opposed to, I dread to think what these come out as, like 500 and something
Yeah.
for 10 of
When you make
these
that comparison, yeah.
when you do a max one. But I think they're in a much better spot, and I think having the suppressive will come in clutch. Having the breaching it is good as well for
Mm.
like it's no joke. But that's kind of how I
Yeah.
was sort of thinking
Yeah,
about
they're
them.
not broken. They're not an auto
No,
take, but there's something
they're
that you
just
might. Yeah, they're,
yeah.
they're pretty.
And to be honest, partly I took the Tartarus ones because I was going to make this unit with, because in first edition you could
Mm.
take full Mentaurus with autocannons,
Yeah, that's right.
and I was like, no matter how these get done, I'm going to take that. That's how I want to model them. And lo and behold, I got the unit I wanted, so I was
Nice.
like, great, I'll
Yeah,
take
love
that.
Yeah, love that.
So
Yeah, awesome.
yeah,
Yeah,
not
I
busted,
suppose the other
not
things
shit,
I would
like
say
that
is
stuff.
that they've got firing protocols too, and they have combi bolters. So
They
you're looking
do.
at the splinter missiles, be like, okay, well that's 4 shots, and then they've got 4 shots from the combi bolters as well.
Hmm.
Like, and each guy's thrown out 8 shots. From kind
It's
of like the weaker shots. Like, I mean, that's on a score of 5, that's like 40 shots. So
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
no
it's
joke.
no joke.
Yeah, I think you'd use them. You hunt power armor dudes, don't you? I think that's
Yeah,
probably what you
yeah,
want to do,
yeah,
right?
yeah. They're for that
Yeah,
and only for that. Yeah.
for sure, for sure. So,
Cool. Okay, let's have a look what is
yeah,
next. So this unit I absolutely love. This is in a
spicy.
excellent place now. And it's partly mainly I think down to 2 things. The main one is the panic 1 on the mortificator bolters. I
Mm,
mean, bolters that are 18-inch range with panic 1. Yes, please. Like, yeah,
yeah,
run us through these because these are in a really good place, and I suspect
yeah,
most Ultramarines players are going to be taking at least a
yeah.
squad.
When I saw these, I was like, "Ooh, probably need to buy some of these, get
Yeah.
some of these painted up." So yeah, hundred
I've already got
have you?
10
You're
painted
lucky.
up, yeah, from last
Nice,
edition. Yeah.
nice, nice. So yeah, 165 points for 9 and a sergeant, and then they can go up to a juicy 20 models, so or 14 if you wanted to put them in your big rhino.
Yeah, right.
They've got a basic marine stat line. Nothing. Well, the destroyer has got 1
Mm.
extra Pippa leadership,
Yeah.
which is nice on the
And
sergeant. It's
one
got two
extra
attacks
attack as well, actually. That's
on the
interesting.
sergeant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they've got their bolters, their special rules once
No,
again.
none.
None. The mortar flare bolter, the chainsword, and the rad grenades, and then you can get your special weapons. You can get your las cutter, heavy bolter, or the missile launcher.
Mm.
And I think these with maybe a missile launcher, maybe a little cheeky grav gun or something in there, or a flamer is pretty.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice because they're
Really
dishing
nice.
out a lot of
Do these
statuses.
guys have Vanguard though, like normal destroyers?
I don't think
See, I don't think they do. They do, but
they
they're not
do.
also they're not support either, are they? So
They're not support.
yeah.
They're also not bitter duty.
Oh, right, interesting.
So you
It's
can.
interesting these, isn't it? Like because they are what role do they fill? Are they an elite or are they a
They're a
support?
heavy. Yeah, they're a heavy assault.
Heavy. Okay.
So
Yeah.
once again, they're not fighting for um
Oh
that
yeah, medium
pinched
heavy assault.
elite
Yeah,
slot.
it'd be interesting to be with these guys. Be like, you know what? I'm going to sacrifice the tax squad to take one of these guys. Like just in a little rhino. They cause panic. They've got like quite a lot of cool rules. They can still score. They're not lying, but they can still hop on an objective and score it. You know, score
They
max
can.
points.
Um,
Yeah, I think they've got a really interesting place these. And actually, I think that if you wanted to do a Nemesis Destroyer company,
oh yeah,
actually these as like the backbone of your list is actually feasible now.
for
Like
sure.
3 units of these in rhinos would be pretty. I mean, like, or 3 units of 20 in a Spartan would be
That'd be sick. Yeah.
pretty nuts.
Um, I mean, you can also take them in a termite as well. So
Right.
if
Yeah, that's a really good shout.
they
Yeah.
pop up in a termite, which
Yeah.
once again Nick was doing.
Mm.
He this was his standout unit. They would
Nick's
pop
such a
up.
naughty boy nowadays. I used to
He
know him
is,
when he
yeah.
was like fluffy and
I just
making
love
like iron
my
hand
crab.
like Pharax, and look at him.
Yeah,
God.
yeah. He's like, oh yeah, just love my robotic black shield and my crab men. And now he's like, no,
Now look at him.
I
Now he's
want
got
to
his
put.
Excel spreadsheet open.
Yeah. Yeah.
Changed changed Nick.
This was his standout unit. This is
Right.
what did the work. It would come up, it
Yeah.
would kill a tactical squad, off an objective, state as something else. The
Yeah.
termite can then like melt to something.
Yeah.
Like this unit I think is no joke. And you can put because it's not not bitter duty, so you can put something that has fear with them.
Mm.
So you could put in a herald into that termite. You could put in a librarian with whichever one gives you fear. I forget which one it is. Is
Oh
it
yeah.
telepathy
Yeah,
that gives
yeah,
you
I think it's
fear?
telepathy. Yeah,
Yeah.
telepathy, yeah.
And then you could probably make your termite
Fuck, that's
like
so good.
thingy like capacity 14, right?
Yeah, yeah,
With
yeah, yeah.
a
'Cause it's just a transport.
logistical.
Yeah.
So you have 13 of these pricks coming out with the librarian.
This is mental. Like these guys are absolutely off the chain. Like
Yeah.
absolutely off the chain when you consider it like that. Yeah, absolutely. Like
Once again, it's the little bits of
yeah, bits
Ultramarines.
of
It's like from the
yeah.
outset, you're like, oh, they don't just do it all anymore. It's like no, you have to work for it when you're building your
So
list.
the termite it used to be able to take like Volkite and Melter. Can it take a flamer now, or like
It
a heavy
can. It
flamer?
can take two pintle heavy flamers,
So
and the
basically,
way that
yeah,
yeah,
and can because those are strengths 5 or 6, whatever they are. Can they fire at two different things because they are
well, yeah. So they
defensive?
are defensive ones, right?
Yeah.
And I think because they are like the pintle and their pintle templates,
Mm.
you put them on the tank because
Yeah,
it
it's just
negates
from
your
anywhere
range
on the tank. Yeah, it's just
anywhere on the
anywhere.
tank.
Yeah.
So what could be quite nice is let's say your termite comes up, it gets intercepted, it lives.
Yeah,
Your boys get out.
yeah,
You fire your destroy missile at what you want to fire at.
yeah,
The guys get phage toughness, and
yeah.
then the flamers fire at it.
Yeah,
So
okay,
it's wounding things
yeah,
on twos. It's quite
yeah.
nice.
I mean, but I
With
mean,
panic.
just as a the other thing you can do, like just exactly as you described, the librarian and a squad of 10 of these, right? And then it pops up, it flames one unit, flames another unit because it can, and then these guys hit another unit
Another.
with a panic. And then you've got 3 units potentially getting tactical status with a
Yeah.
fear bubble around it as well.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man. Okay, well, I need to put termite in my basket
Yeah,
tonight.
just
Absolutely
it's
crazy. Whoa, this is
which is cool, and you have these really
this is
bitter,
like a
mad
go-to. I think this will
Ultramarines.
be a
Yeah,
go-to unit. Like, this is almost like an auto include this unit. I think now in for
which
Ultramarines.
is great because Nemesis destroyers didn't get quite enough love. I think they
No,
were a little
no,
bit sort of left to one side. It's like, oh well, they're not really a
yeah,
tactical squad, they're not really a
yeah,
destroyer
yeah,
squad. They're a bit
yeah,
in
yeah,
between.
yeah.
Um,
Man,
yeah,
this is awesome.
pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
love this. Absolutely love this. And I've also got a librarian, and I've got 10
yeah.
of these as
You
well.
just need
Like,
a
this is
termite.
perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah, just need a
amazing.
termite. Awesome. Okay, cool.
All right.
Let's have a look what's
Ah,
next.
my boy. Oh,
Man,
Telemachus.
he's
Oh,
got weaker and weaker as
Telemachus.
additions have got on. This man used to have
He,
hatred like everything,
yeah,
and he used to be, believe it or not, people weapon skill 6.
yeah,
Um, so what can we say about him? Basically, the only special rule he's really got now is hatred word bearers. He just
yeah.
hates them so much. He comes with a Kiri's assault cannon, which I don't think is a bad option, but it's not damage to. But I don't think it's a bad option to Kiri's. Um, and that's it. Oh, it says they're 1 in 5 may swap their
I
bolter,
think that's probably from the
but I
last
think
slide,
from the
right?
last slide, yeah. But it's not. It's the hatred word bearers is really the only unique thing about him, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and I think unfortunately he is just the final nail in the dreadnought coffin. I think
Yeah,
of it's
tragic,
just a bit of a shame, but
tragic.
you take him if you want. He's not that expensive. He's 170 points. It's not that bad.
No,
I mean, you'll take him as a fluff choice. I think
yeah,
he and there's that scene when he first wakes up and he's like, why are they all calling me Honored Telemachus? I'm
yeah,
just a
yeah,
normal
yeah,
dude.
yeah. It's
He's
awesome.
now a normal dude.
He is,
Like
he
this,
is, yeah. The
he's
demise of
just a normal
the
man.
dreadnought and the demise of Telemachus, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
Um,
they couldn't have a Ultramarines weapon skill 5 dread walking around. It would just piss too many people off in the
it
game.
would,
So uh,
it would.
tragic,
So
tragic.
it is, and I think he kind of does personify everything that has been lost from the dreadnought.
Yeah.
They just haven't kept up with all the damage to weapons
No, no, no,
and
no.
um
This is a complete sidetrack. You know what Dreadnoughts needed? I don't. They can keep their weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4. They needed Eternal Warrior 1.
yeah,
I, I get why they haven't because they were such a menace in the second edition, but Eternal Warrior 1, I think
would have been
it would still be like I don't have to take this, but actually they're reasonable.
yeah.
Now I think that contemptors will be for two things and two things only: double plasma and
Yeah,
double heavy conversion rate.
double. Yeah, or maybe double bolter, right?
Oh, double bolster
Push.
as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, not even like autocannons are good, but you're just not getting enough shots in comparison to
Mm,
like other things in the game, right? So yeah. But anyway,
yeah,
a big
yeah.
sidetrack really. But
It's sad, but there
I'm
we
glad
are.
I magnetized the weapons on the Telemachus.
On Telemachus. Yeah, I've got one of the ones that I've got a lovely I
Wolf
love the
pattern.
one the wolf pattern
Yeah.
that's yeah, I did magnetize thankfully because he will be getting some different weapons.
Alas, alas.
So
Okay, cool.
alas dear
Right.
Telemachus, we knew you. We knew you well.
3 years. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look what
Raise
is.
one. Raise one to
Yeah, yeah.
Telemachus.
Let's have a look what's next then. So, oh man,
Remus,
man.
the man.
So, I think my hot take on this guy is that you could build an entire list around this guy.
Hmm.
Like, and you could forget all your fancy Ultramarine special rules. I think you could build a flyer heavy, reserves heavy list
Yeah.
just around this bloke. So he's pretty unusual. In the sense that number one, he's a special character, but he's got Officer of the Line too. Only other person I can think of who has a special character, a unique character, sorry, who's got that is Hibu Khan. I can't think of anybody else off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
it's very rare for anybody to
Um,
have. Yeah.
yeah, to have it, but it's pretty cool. He's actually a command slot as well. He's not a high command,
Yeah.
and he has the icon of Calf, which increases the tactical strength of every model in the unit by 1.
So good.
So let's say I've got a squad of 20 dudes.
Hmm.
Basically, if they're all surrounding an objective, would that be the equivalent of like 40 dudes?
It would be 40, yeah. Or if they're all line, then it becomes What?
Something
A
80, would
80?
it? Yeah,
Yeah.
80. Okay. Yeah. So basically, they're always doing it. But herein lays, I think, the problem with Remus Ventanis, which is that, particularly in a massive unit, is that that massive unit, because of bending uh, wanted style bullets,
Yeah.
precision bullets, it's just quite easy just to snipe him out. So if your army list is reliant on his +1 to reserves, then I think that he can be sniped out quite quickly and quite
You have to keep
easily.
him safe. Yeah.
Yeah, like you need to get rid of any seekers that are in your opponent's army, because otherwise he's just going to go. Because people will be like, "Oh, well, you've got loads of reserves, so I'm just going to get rid of him."
It's
And then
gonna just gonna blast him. Yeah.
yeah. So I think his +1 to reserves is really unusual. So it specifically says it includes aerial reserves, which is one of the few characters, if not like the only character that can manipulate aerial reserves. Um, and with reserves now, you can if you pass it, you can choose not to come in.
Hmm.
And that's quite a big deal for like aerial reserves because yeah, with the fact you can come in from the side and the rear of the board from turn two onwards. So if you got like I don't know, Suzarin and Storm Eagles, right? You know, coming in from the rear of the board or the sides,
Yeah,
that's
all
pretty
sorts of things in
quite
Storm
useful.
Eagles, or because
Yeah.
it's flies. I haven't really read much about the flies. Is flies? Is it one fly per turn, or can you do
No, no,
multiple?
no. It's just as many as you want. Like
Because
I legitimately think like my initial plans I was playing with this guy were actually like three for anti-tank, three Dreadclaws
mm,
with three close combat chain fist
yeah,
dreadnought.
hell yeah, yeah, I know
Like
about this.
and that would be my anti-tank. So I'd just
Yeah,
be like, fuck your vindicators, fuck your blast cannons. Like I'm just gonna go close combat, and then I'm
yeah,
gonna not let them come in on the first turn. I'm just gonna say they're not coming in. I'll make them come in on the second turn, and because they've not come in, it still comes in on a 2-up with
hmm
him, and they can come in from the backfield, like because of ongoing like aerial, like ongoing,
yeah,
basically it basically says that the battlefield is just like a massive, mad hellscape. So flyers are coming in every single
yeah,
direction. Um, and I think that would be the way I do it. But I do think there's play in having outflanking units with this guy. So Land Raider Explorators, I think, are probably a really
yeah,
good shout for him. Yeah, he's good. I mean, he's not a close combat beast, but you got to keep him safe, is
yeah.
what I would
He
say.
never was he? Yeah, you
No.
just keep him safe. On the thing about the Seekers and people sniping him out, I will say in
Mm.
the games that I played, I haven't played against that many Seekers.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
was I was ready for the event last weekend to be the absolute Wild West and an
yeah, great.
absolute fuckfest, but I didn't play
No,
that.
that's good.
So
Okay.
maybe it could be a sign of things to come.
But this is yeah. I mean, this is the thing I would say about Seekers though is you need stuff like large plasma blasts with damage
Yeah,
2 to basically like land on their heads and
yeah,
kill them.
yeah.
That you need to get rid of that
You just
precision
yeah,
quite
you
early
just
on.
need to kill them. Yeah,
Yeah,
which they're just mooks, so it's not
yeah.
the hardest thing to do.
No.
It I mean, it does make me think just sort of talking about characters like this and how like much flavor is locked into these characters,
Mm.
whether or not sort of certain events in the UK will start to sort of relax their no character rules because
Yeah.
all their gambits and all this kind of stuff like
Yeah.
you don't get access to a fifth of what your army does
Yeah.
if you don't get to use these guys.
Yeah, 100%.
So
Yeah. Yeah,
um
literally that,
yeah,
right? Yeah, I'd like to
like
see that. Yeah. I'd like to see that. Like
but yeah, I like him. I think he's cool. Yeah, and so the fact that you could do a whole flying army
yeah, pretty nuts, right?
is very cool.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah,
This guy got a lot of play, but as I say, keep him safe.
for sure, for sure.
Right, let's have a look at this next guy.
The
So I
big
think
man.
the big man. So we've got over 2 pages. So talk us through Guilliman.
So
I mean, one of the things we've lamented on all of these deep dives is that just in general, they've lost a lot of flavor,
they
um,
have.
and their flavor is now actually pretty standardized. So yeah, walk us through this guy. Is he worth
Yeah,
taking? Is he not?
yeah. So I think in terms of looking how he's changed, I think he's lost the flavor. I mean,
Mm,
he lost like 50% of the Logos Lectora Gilliman, like all the
yeah,
stacking. Like
yeah,
it's a bit brutal. But
yeah.
I mean, what? So he's 465 points.
Mm,
He's Paragon and all the things that come with that.
mm,
Move 8. He's 7. Then all the sixes: 12,
mm.
10, 10, 2 plus 4 plus. So pretty standard for
Yeah,
a Primarch
yeah,
stat
pretty
line.
reasonable.
So yeah, bulky 4, Eternal Warrior 2. He's got his calculating swordsman, sire of the Ultramarines. So yeah, calculating swordsman. So once again, a unique gambit that gives a bonus roll to the focus roll equal to the number of turns you've had, which could come
That's
in a
not bad.
bit clutch.
Yeah, end
I
game.
guess you
Yeah,
could
yeah,
just
yeah.
use the he could use the Ultramarines one where he
Hmm.
gives like all the pluses anyway.
Yeah.
Um, Considering that the Hand of Dominion is a damage 3 weapon, as we'll go onto,
Mm,
you might want to be maybe finishing blowing because
mm,
if you're fighting against the Primarch,
mm.
because a lot of them are Ton of Warrior too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's food for thought. And yeah, Sire of the Ultramarines. So if you have 4 or more troop slots filled with at least 2 tactical marines and 2 assault marines, then all troop slots are prime. And he also, this is a big one. He also lets any Ultramarine unit score objectives on the first turn, even if they have a tactical status.
And
Which
that's good if you're going second, isn't it? That's
it
really good.
is. It is
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
You got to be worried. I think the thing is the 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 thing you need to worry about on that one is routed and pinning. Like
Mhm.
like if you are pinned, you can't get to an objective. But if you've got stunned or suppressive, at least you can still get to an objective and score it,
Yeah.
which is important. It's just you got to fear the other two, I think.
Yeah, so it like it once again you're just playing the game a little bit better.
Yeah.
I think he's not what he was because he literally used to do it all before.
Mm,
He was a beat stick in combat with the Hand of Dominion, and then he was like an army multiplier. To be honest, I think a lot of these sires of the X are all some of them. I mean, I've only read really this one and then the Night Lords one, but they're all a bit like to an
yeah.
extent because whilst
Yeah.
having 4 prime, brilliant. I
Mm,
want to take tactical marines, fantastic. Do I want to take assault marines? Probably not because I
yeah.
don't think they're very good
Yeah.
compared
Yeah.
to like despoilers because of Vanguard.
Yeah.
So you're kind of hamstringing yourself a bit. But maybe if you made them prime, I mean,
Yeah.
even then,
I think but
I,
the issue the issue with the prime, because I think this they have to fall in the primary detachment. I think from
mm,
memory they've got to fall in the
yeah, they
primary
do, they
detachment.
do.
So I think the problem is that you're probably unlikely to make your tactical sergeants. Let's just go with tacticals. Um, it- you know, you're unlikely to make your tacticals a champion. Like
Mm,
+1 extra attack is just I'm just not convinced it's worth it.
no,
You can only logistical benefit one thing in that detachment anyway. Like, you know, and that's not so much an issue with the auxiliary detachments that they've got. And then really you just kind of like, well, just combat vet it. Like,
yeah,
and combat vet is useful, but again, it's not like exactly like a Viagra inducing boner moment, right? You know,
no.
you just
The
like it's
Ultramarines don't need it.
like
Like,
you just yeah, like so it doesn't but I think that's the same across a lot of these Primarch rules, which is just like, yeah, okay, basically everybody's just going to take combat vets. Like that's what will happen if you take a Primarch, unless you have a
I suppose,
specific unless you've got a specific legion
thingy.
prime advantage that is like, like the Sons of Horus one or whatever.
Which these guys can't take because they're
No,
not command.
no,
So,
yeah,
but you could, I suppose, have 40 interdiction cadre tactical marines,
yeah.
which would be quite funny.
In fairness, like that is
That'd be
that's
quite good.
but
But
then
anyone could do
yeah,
that.
literally
Um,
anyone can do that, and then you're gonna use all up your extra reaction, right? Like
mhm.
that's the other problem with it, isn't it? So
Yeah. So it's yeah. I think he's all right. I think
yeah.
he's all right.
Okay, well let's have a look at his
Yeah.
weapons.
So his weapons. Um, so yeah, he's got the arbitrator, the gladius incandor, and the hand of dominion. So yeah, the gladius initiative. So he's going at 6. So he'll be 6 attacks. AP 3, damage 2, breaching 5 up, duelist stage 1. So I don't know who he's dueling with this because he's not going to get through a Primarch's armor, is he?
No,
With that,
no, no way.
and so you're always going to be using the Hand of Dominion. There's
Yeah,
no two ways about that. So
yeah.
it's yeah 6 attacks with that +4 strength, so he goes to strength 10.
Mm.
AP 2, damage 3, and armor bane. So
Oh,
he'll
armor bane's interesting. Yeah, okay,
yeah,
okay.
so he'll punch open tanks. He'll kill dreadnoughts. He'll kill mechanicum stuff
Mm,
convincingly. In a Primarch duel, I think it depends who he's fighting
definitely,
because I
especially with
think
weapon skill 7. Yeah.
um, I think some of the killier ones, obviously he'll struggle. Obviously he'll struggle
Really
with, but
struggle, really struggle.
I do think that ultimately he's a Primarch with a damage 3 weapon, which they could go to 4 if you like finishing blow,
Yeah.
which means that you're actually getting through their Eternal Warrior, which is
Mm,
big, and you're winning them on 2s. Like it'll add up.
yeah.
So in that combat, he I think he's got the sort of capacity
Mm,
to beat some of them for sure.
yeah. Yeah.
And then the
Okay.
Arbitrator,
Yeah.
just a handy little 2-shot breaching 5 up as it was before.
Yeah, it's basically
Like
it's basically
I'll a few guys
a shooting version of his sword, isn't it? That's
of his
essentially
sword.
what
Yeah, he throws
the
his sword
arbitrator is.
because it's so
Yeah,
rubbish.
that's essentially what that does. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, when I was sort of thinking about the Legion, he was he was how they've changed. I
Yeah.
was like, oh yeah, it really has. And I think just to be like well rounded, because I don't want it to sound like I'm like complaining that because they were really good in second,
Mm,
and I appreciate that there were a lot of legions that weren't in
mm,
second. And
mm,
Ultramarines, they had their time in the sun where everything was
mm,
fantastic,
mm.
and there were a lot of legions that, like for example, the Sallies, and to an
Yeah.
extent the Thousand Suns that weren't. And
Yeah.
and now they're getting their time in the sun, so I
Yeah,
get
fair.
that.
That's fair. Yeah, these things.
They
Once we
they
get to
happen.
fourth edition, then
Oh yeah,
yeah,
been 2.5
we'll
years,
be
mate. It'll be
laughing.
fine.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Fair. Yeah,
So yeah, see you in a couple of years, mate. Like,
yeah. Cool.
so
Okay.
yeah,
Let's. Yeah. All right. Not a 10 out of 10, but
I
not
think
not
like a
completely.
7 or an 8. Like he's still a
He's
Primarch.
he's
He will
saved by his
still.
damage 3 weapon though, really, isn't he?
He
I mean, that's
is.
the
He
thing.
is.
Like, it's the D3 on the weapon is the thing
He
that is.
will. He will still dominate most things. I
Yeah.
think,
But
like in the game we had.
even on
He was.
tanks though, like if he's going
Yeah.
against armor 14, only half of those only half of those attacks are going to
Yeah.
hit.
He'll hit with all 6, and
Yeah.
even if he's still doing 9 damage, so he'll
Yeah.
kill a lot of tanks. So
Yeah.
yeah,
But
he's. I'd still,
not a Kratos in one turn, but like
not
on
Kratos.
average.
Yeah. Like.
Cool. Okay.
Oh dear. All right. What we got next?
Yeah. Right. Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Some
Perfect.
lists.
So, yeah, we've got a list. So, Sean, it was interesting. Sean got in contact today with Heresy. I'm a friend of the show. He was like, would you like to see some of my Ultramarines list? I was like, it's so funny
Yeah.
you say that, actually, because I don't have the time to write a 2K list.
Yeah.
So, Sean's written us up a 2K list, and I'm going to go through it, and then we'll get Matt's thoughts on this one. And I suspect it'll be slightly different to Matt's because it's not got,
Yeah.
just because of the general vibes. Well, anyway, right. So, Sean's list 2K. He has given me a Praetor with a Paragon Blade for 15 points, and then also a Boarding Shield for 15 points as well. And that, of course, opens up an Apex detachment. So all makes sense and kind of links with what Matt was saying. We've got the Praetor in there, gives us the additional reaction. So now we've got 4. He's got a squad of Invictus Suzarin, because he's taken Almy Vanguard, and it's 4 in there. It's 200, or I think plus 4 additional ones. I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
right. So at 295 points. And then he has used logistical benefit to via the librarian to open up a land raider with additional las cannons. So you can kind of see where that that
Mm.
one's going. Now in his in the command slot, he's opened up a librarian. He's taken biomancy and telekinesis, 2 very, very good ones. And that's 125 points. And he has obviously used his logistical benefit to open up the land raider, but he's also opened up the tactical support, and he's taken an Arachne quad accelerator platform. He's also got a second librarian in there as well, which has got biomancy and also telekinesis as well.
Holy shit.
And he's opened up armored support there, and then he's taken the Kratos with the melter blast gun, the shoulder mounted auto cannons, and then las cannons, and then the Decurion Locus as well. So we'll get to him in a second. So that's a 380 point tank. Is obviously very, very survivable, especially at 2,000 points. There's not like you have to take some really dedicated firepower to take that down.
Yeah.
The Decurion Locus, basically, he can shoot back with the turret weapon. I believe that's one of the things.
Yeah. You can.
do.
Yeah.
Um, he's taken 3 tactical squads, and this is exactly what we were saying before, which is basically keep them small, keep them cheap, and just add a Nuncio Vox on them. And then one of them he's upgraded to Legion Veterans, so combat vets basically, and then he's taken 3 rhinos, presumably for that attack squad, but I'll have a read through in a second. And then one of them's got a Havoc launcher. One of them's got a Hunter Killer. Hunter Killers are pretty lethal now, aren't they?
They are
AP3,
they're pretty spicy now.
damage 3,
Damage 3, yeah.
yeah, strength 9. Like, it's good. And then that is his list at 2,000 points. Then he's got 4 army reactions. So just to mention a few things on reactions he wanted to say. So he's got essentially the return fire from the Kratos. It's not quite the return fire, but it's the Locust Strike.
Yeah.
If he can't return fire with all of his weapons, I think it's just the main
Just
weapon.
the main one, yeah.
You can reposition. It's especially good to get troops or suzerains back in a transport. The telekinesis for the force barrier for the librarians, which is really, really nice. And then we've got the smoke screen for tanks as well. And at 2K list, this list really uses librarians to get the most out of it. The big combo is, if you can get it off, is to cast Biomantic Rage on the suzerain. On the turn they charge, you see them hitting it at strength 7. That's pretty naughty, isn't it? Actually,
That's wild, yeah.
that is crazy. Yeah, that's so plus
The
2 for
double.
Biomantic Rage, and then plus 1. So the Legatine axe is +1 strength, is it?
It is, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
man, okay, that is definitely better than before, because before there was strength user.
With a user, yes,
Yeah, I
definitely
think there was
better
strength
before,
user. Yeah. So okay, so that's really, really saucy actually. I like that. All attacks will be AP3 with breaching 4 up, so that's 3 attacks per suzerain, as we found out going through this with Matt, and then mostly wounding on 2s and 3s depending on what you're running into. All hitting at initiative 4, and the Praetor hitting at initiative 5. Yeah, same for the sword. I guess it's going to be going at +2 strength on top of that as well. So taking them down is difficult in that first turn of combat, as they are all toughness 6 with a 2+4 up save and 2 wins. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, I really like that. Librarian, Biomancy, and these guys are pretty tasty. Admittedly, he's running them as a 9-man unit, all with axes, supporting a basic Praetor with a Paragon Blade. Over my last 4 games, the Praetor hasn't lost any challenges. Ideally, you want to select Finishing Blow as your gambit. You mentioned that, didn't you?
Yeah.
And most Death Stars I was running into typically got cut down or ran off. And the Librarians can also use Immovable Force for a range pinning 2 psychic power if needed. And I assume that comes from the telekinesis as well.
Yeah, because they get another. The double Libby. That's pretty spicy. I haven't used them yet, but I was reading them and I was like, they do a lot of things.
Yeah, that's good for that list, I think. Yeah,
they are. They're no joke with that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. Well, that's good. That's actually given me a lot of ideas. What weapon would you give a librarian? Would you give him a sword? Give him a axe?
Because the force, it doubles the strength, right, of the weapon.
I'll just agree with you there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
why not?
does. Yeah, I think it does. I think probably axe, right? Because you want it's less. I'm looking at them now, right? So, yeah, it's force damage actually. So you're doubling your damage on these. So I think probably an axe because it's AP2, -1.
But it's
initiative.
only damage 1, isn't it?
It's damage 1, but force makes it damage 2. So it's +2 strength, AP2, then it'll be damage 2. I think is what I would maybe go for on those.
Yeah. Okay, loads of flexibility there, like that.
Yeah.
And I'll be buying another couple of librarians for my.
Yeah, because I think at 2K points, like 4 reactions, a Kratos, an absolute fuck squad, and then 3 units that can
score right? Yeah.
Like you might struggle with like loads of armor, but like this will score loads of things. So it's great.
And I mean, one of the things we didn't mention about the Suzarin is they lost line, but they didn't gain Vanguard. And
they didn't.
That means that they can just score max victory points.
Yeah, because who cares about Vanguard? Unfortunately,
literally,
really, really, really sad. Yeah. All right.
Cool. Okay. Talk us through your 2.5k list then.
Yeah.
So I've tried to kind of generally color code this, just to see what is open, what basically.
Yeah. So 2.5k. So this sort of variations on sort of 2 lists, and I tried to sort of mix it up a bit when I've been sort of thinking about it. But yeah, I've got a Praetor in Tartarus armor with lightning claws. Now
lightning claws is an interesting choice for a Praetor.
Mama, he's a spicy meatball, Rob. So obviously he's got a full Praetor stat line. He's got 5 wounds. He is toughness 5. He has 7 attacks with his lightning claws.
Okay.
Which when you then get into a challenge, you once again your finishing blow, you just fish in for 6s
because they're damaged
because they're rending.
And they're damaged too
rending, breaching, damage, because the rending will go through a breaching value at damage too. So I played a game with this guy, and he against the lovely Xander, who is going to be doing some word bearers, some world eaters, some Ultramarines soon, and he systematically merged his way through some word bearers command structure. Praetor dead.
I would never
dead,
consider the Lightning Claw Praetor.
Yeah, give it a go. You'll like it because he's got 5 wounds. You can afford to do that.
Yeah.
Finishing blow reaction, right? The champion with the Paragon Blade and the jump pack. He is great. He just runs around chopping people's heads off. Great. It's self-explanatory. And then we've got the Herald with the Power Fist and Melter Bombs. So, and we've got a 40-man tactical squad.
Yeah, but I've misplaced where this is. But
that's all right. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, with they've got a logistical benefit for shock assault and an Nuncio Vox. So generally, what these will do is that's where the Praetor will go.
Right.
And he will just trundle up the board. If anybody wants to come and fight him, he can. He anchors the unit because he's like cool 9, leadership 10, so not going anywhere. And then we've got a couple of the 2 mobile tactical squads with Nuncio Voxes, and then a Despoiler squad with 2 Mauls and Lightning Claws. So
no Nuncio Vox in there.
No, just for points. I mean, you could probably drop a tactical marine if you wanted to from the bigger squad to put it in, but I like these just running at the board and hunting other tactical squads off of objectives because they all 3 of those 10-man units go in a Rhino with a Havoc launcher, and then you've got a Termite where the logistical benefit Nemesis destroyers go in. So what you have is your Termite with your Herald that causes fear. It comes up, does all the things that we talked about. He can Phosphex bomb someone for Panic 3 as well. And Phosphex bombs aren't limited anymore. Right. You just get Phosphex bombs. So he's throwing Panic 3, pocket Phosphex, causing havoc. And also there's a melter bomb in there from the Herald if they want to go hunt tanks, so they can do that.
So it's the tack squad, the 40-man tack squad's unlocking the Nemesis Destroyer squad, right?
Unlocking the Nemesis Destroyers, yeah.
Cool.
Because they don't need to combat vet because they're the Praetors with them.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Like that's another way to get around that. I think the days of like big except for Sean's like massive fuck Suzarin squad. I think generally the days of that squad maybe has gone a bit, but maybe until I play that and I lose and I'm like, why?
And then they're coming back.
So then we've got an Apex, unlocked by the Praetor, which is the veteran assault squad that I talked about, and they're logistical. Their logistical support unit in. So we got 6 combat shields. So you'll have 5 dudes with a chainsword and a shield. A sergeant with a thunder hammer and a shield, and then 4 pairs of lightning claws. And this does work. This unit.
Yeah, wow.
The Vanguard, if you get it off, it's just a Brucey bonus. But these guys, they'll chew through pretty much anything. Galvorback, like 5-6 Galvorback will go through.
The champion, and the champion goes with those guys.
Yeah, champion goes with these guys. They've killed Castellax as well. They'll chew through that. It's pretty spicy. And then they unlock 4 rapiers with laser destroyers. And then I've also got, just because I had 100 points left over, I've got 5 Seekers. I don't generally like taking them. I think they're kind of boring, but I was like, right, 100 points. I can't put any more Tactical Marines in. They are where they are.
Interesting.
And
can
then
you take 4 rapiers in one slot?
You can, Rob. You can indeed. They are now 4-man units now. Or 4.
You have literally blown my mind.
Yeah, I will double check because whenever people say this to me, I'm like, have I been cheating? But I am almost certain.
It's because you can buy them in
boxes of 2 now. Yep, you can take 3 extra. So you can take...
Whoa!
So when you're firing 8 laser destroyer shots...
I've been living in the past, mate. Living in the past.
Yeah,
this is crazy.
What are you doing? So I know that they're getting a bit of stick because it's like, oh, you have to take the laser destroyers first, but they can return fire now. That's really good.
Yeah, they're so good. They're so good.
Yeah, and there's also 8 dudes with bolters, which sometimes will do things.
Yeah. 100%,
So, and then we've got the Seekers. So, and then I've got an auxiliary armored support, which you've got 2 predators with las cannons and conversion beam cannons.
Yeah,
they are really, really good.
Really good.
3 damage, large blast.
I've not used them yet, but I've heard they're good this edition. So.
They are, they do work. Because it's what 30 to 45 is the sweet spot.
Yes, that's it. That's fine in this.
And they're heavy range strength, so generally you're not looking to kill tanks with these. You're looking to
it's an elite killer, isn't it?
Elite killers, mech killers, which always get a stonking on for that one. And then I've got an auxiliary detachment, which is the Apothecary delegation. So I've got 2 apothecaries. One will go with the big man, the big 14-man squad. Yeah. And then one will go with whichever other squad you want to go with. Generally, I put it in with the despoilers. Nemesis, you put it in, or despoilers. You could also put them in with the rapiers, I guess, as well. To keep them a little. And then the logistical in the apothecary. The apothecary gets the command and control squad.
Yeah, and then basically, what you're hoping here is that you can get a free return fire reaction.
Free return fire, a free medic reaction, a free anything. In this, like compared to the 3K, in this it's a little bit less. It's guaranteed because you don't have somebody with intelligence 10 to go with them.
Yeah, okay.
But they're still. I think they might be 8. And if you can see the unit,
so we didn't talk about both the medic and the Augur Command Squad. So for me, I feel like an Augur Command Squad is an auto take for
100%
for Ultramarines, because it allows you to unlock a free reaction, and I assume you can put a Centurion. Well, I looked into this the other day. You can take a Centurion with a servo skull in an Augur Command Squad to make it 10, basically.
Yeah, effectively 10. And then also if the unit can see what they're reacting, it reduces it by 2 by 1 as well. I think it's by 1.
That's fairly straightforward then. Yeah.
Effectively, you can't. It's also you can put Master of Signals in here as well.
Another way of doing for the intelligence 10. Yeah. Okay,
for the intelligence 10.
Yeah, that's a safe place for him to go. So, and then the apothecary. Do you want to just talk us through the apothecary, because you are like the only man who's getting like a hard on for apothecaries?
Yeah, I really like them, mainly because Ultramarines have more reactions than I can shake a stick at. So. There's 2 things, and it's really convoluted, so I'll try and make it as sort of easy as possible. So first you have the medic reaction. So all these apothecaries and like medics will have a medic X. So an apothecary is medic 4+. So when you get shot at, you declare your medic reaction, and then whatever convoluted step of 50 you do it in. Once you've failed your armor save, obviously a bolter, for example, is damage 1. So for each instance of that, so a guy that's died that's taking damage 1, you roll your dice, and every 4+, you reduce the damage of that weapon by 1. So it's better. You are reacting, of course, so that's your reaction gone, but it's better than the feel no pain than it was before, right? Yeah. And realistically, with like a 15-man tactical squad, what are you doing when you're getting shot at? Sometimes you might be returning fire, but you want to stay alive so that medic it can come in clutch. It's less good against like autocannons, because an autocannon is damage 2 or damage 2 weapons.
You just can't use it. Yeah,
you just can't use it. Yeah. But I think they're one of the few legions that are incentivized to use them, just because you have that spare reaction. Because if you've only got 3, it's a bit like, oh, do I really want to waste this on a tactical squad when I could return fire, or I could do this, that, or the other. Yeah. And it's the same thing, like having the excessive reactions, like you can move back into rhinos, all that kind of stuff. Like it all ties in. And the other part of it is you've got the Narthesium, which is like the most. I was talking to Will about this, and we had to go through it about 3 times because it's such word vomit. Ultimately, what it does is, as I understand it, is that when you are called to take a check in the status stub phase, so the bit after you've been shot at, when you're taking all your tests. So it could be a panic for 25% shooting. It could be any of the 4 checks. When you go to take, and you can only do this once per unit, per apothecary in the unit. You make a medic roll, so you make a 4 up. If you pass that, when you do whichever check you've decided to do it on. So let's say I've got to do a routed check and a suppressive check. I choose to do it on the routed check. On a 4+, on that routed check, I -2 to what I roll. So if I need to take a leadership 8, I will pass it effectively on a 10.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Which, once again, keeps your guys in the fight, and it keeps them on objectives.
Yeah. Yeah.
For 30 points, I think it's a pretty good deal, because they are 30 points, man, and they're 2 wounds.
Yeah.
I think they're 8. They're cool, and leadership 8. Like, it's just pretty good.
Yeah. No, they are pretty good now. Yeah, 100%. I think one of the problems is that the medic 4+ rule is linked with both of those separate like rules, so it gets a little bit like the Narthesium is linked to the medic 4+, and the reaction is linked to the medic 4.
Well, it took me ages to figure out. It was not straightforward at all.
It's not straightforward. Okay, cool. Well, that's some real food for thought, and it's lucky that I've got loads of apothecaries like floating around. So.
Yeah, I would, in big squads like that you're happy just using that reaction. Definitely worth it.
Okay, cool. All right, well, talk us through your 3K list then.
Yeah, 3K. So this is the one that I took to the event.
Oh, right. Okay. So this is going over 2 pages.
Yeah, 2 pages.
So fast. Yeah.
Just to caveat, we had to take a recon slot in this as part of like the fluff of what was going on. And I also had like 20 militia that I could take that pretty much like either died or maybe killed like 2 myrmidons, which was quite funny. But once again, we've got the Praetor in Tartarus armor. The champion with jump pack. I brought a Master of the Forge along because he was going to repair my tanks, which he didn't do an awful lot of anyway. So maybe I just got lucky. I don't know. And then a Master of Signals. Once again, we had the tactical squads.
Just to say, the Master of the Forge is a Forge Lord. That's the
sorry. That's the 40k name, isn't it? Sorry. Yeah. Apologies. That's the.
No problem. Just
so he's a couple of so we've got once again the big blobber tacticals, the 2 smaller ones, and then the despoilers. Like I rejigged the list a bit. It's not exactly what I took, just because I took out the humans, and so there's a few like points here and there that didn't really work for me. And then once again we got the 3 rhinos with their havoc launchers, and then we've got the tactical squad unlocks the shock assault, which was my 10 Tartarus assault terminators with 10 autocannons and 10 power walls, which they were just absolute murderers. They will kill and they're so tough, man. They're like toughness 5, a heavy team.
Do they just come with a power weapon baked in?
They do, Right, okay. They do. So you're not buying them.
Yeah.
They kill mech. They hose down mooks. I think because they've got to far, I wrote autocannons. They've got Reaper autocannons, which are 1 point of strength less than an autocannon,
right? And
they are only 36 inch range, so they won't just murder tanks. I think they're quite well placed, because if you come against those vehicles, you can't kill them. I got my Cerberus with the last cannons and the hunter killer missile. He was really funny. So I took him.
Did it blow itself up at any point in the game?
It actually didn't. No.
Oh, right. Interesting.
I played against one where it did, which was quite like my opponent's Cerberus blew itself up after killing me, which was quite funny. I think it's a really fun unit, because
it's really fun.
I took it because it was like, well, you're going to see Spartans everywhere, you're going to see Kratoses everywhere. Constantly, I played against neither of these things.
Oh, that's funny.
Which is funny, but. How do you kill a Spartan or a Cerberus, a Spartan or a Kratos? Well, you take another Kratos, which seemed a bit boring to me. So I was like, right, I'll try this. It's really swingy. It's a lot of fun. I would really recommend people taking it, because it's not just like a point and click. Like it might kill a super heavy in a duel. It might. It'll probably kill it'll kill a Land Raider for sure. It'll kill like a dreadnought for sure.
You know what you need to take when you take a Cerberus. You need to take a little tech priest. For 30 points, and then plus give it a cyber familiar, and then the cyber theurgy, the overcharge the reactors, and then
really
it can give that +1 BS.
Can you get +1 BS kind of? I hate Mechanicum though, Rob. I hate them so much.
You can't do it. I can't do it. A little tech priest, not for like 50 points.
No, I don't think I can. That's not what. That's not well.
That's not you.
If I wanted to justify myself, there's that Magos on Calth that Remus hangs out with.
Right.
It's beginning. No. I hate them. I hate them, Rob. I hate them so much.
To justify the whack.
I can't. I hate the mech so much. I can't do it. Samit would kill me. He'd be like, yeah.
Bastard, yeah.
Yeah. So that was the first part, and then I had my Apex, which
Yeah.
was once again this veteran squad. But
Mm.
I had like 120, 130 points left. So I was
Mm.
like, what should I take? I could take my Seekers, but I actually
Mm.
took an Eversaw Assassin, which
Okay,
was
cool.
so much fun to
Yeah,
play
I bet
with
that was, yeah.
because you just hide it somewhere, and
Yeah.
I'd painted her up like and Vigil, Operati,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Ultramarine, Ultramar, Space
yeah.
Police. So she was there delivering the law, and she just goes through through tacticals, goes through Pharax.
Mm.
It's no joke. Like weathered an entire shooting, like Overwatch from some Satellite Terminators, which is quite funny.
Mm.
She's. I would really, urge people to have a look into them. She's like five
What
plus
slot
shroud.
does it fill? Is it shock assault?
And
Yeah.
so the way that they work is that you take your prime,
Yeah.
and then you basically the prime is the clade operative, and then
Right.
it basically unlocks like a smaller detachment that lets you
Right.
take multiple assassins. I think it's 3 assassins. I think you get to take in it.
Got it.
But she's no joke. Like she's got a damage 2 weapon, AP3, rending 4 plus with like a gajillion attacks.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, just try out. So
Nice.
the recon I took was the combat pioneer. So I took some tarantulas, and these probably won't take these again because they are incredibly unfun to play
So
against.
so I played while you were playing with these. I also played with 4 tarantulas, 2 las cannon ones and 2 volkite ones. I I think that events are going to have to cap them at 2 per 1,000 points.
Yeah,
Because as you say, they're unfun. I think you can kind of be like, well, I can't fire them in my own turn. Like they just fire during somebody else's turn.
that's the
But
worst bit.
but that is the worst bit, which is people are just like, oh fuck, like oh I've just lost 2 guys. And the thing about the las cannons is they're just quite reliable, just for chipping away
Yeah,
like multiple dudes. And you're not incentivized to shoot them in the first turn because you just like I need to shoot at something that's of value to get the first strike.
yeah,
Which is obviously why they're designed. But yeah, as you say, I think events are going to have, even at 3K, are going to probably cap them to 4 and no more.
yeah. No more than
I
4.
quite like the Volkite ones were pretty good. Like I
Yeah,
think they're good. But I think the problem is with these is that people need to proof against shit coming out of drop pods. Like that's the other thing here, which is
that's true.
like
Very true.
when people move out of a drop pod. I mean, I
They
don't
can
know.
shoot.
I think they can shoot because I think
They
that
can.
happens in the
Yeah.
movement phase. So the thing is, like, people won't be crying that tarantulas are too much when people have got 10 multi-melters in a drop pod and they're coming out and like
Yeah.
completely destroying a unit. But I don't know, it's tough. They're an interesting unit, but they're obviously quite good for Ultramarines because they give you the free automated fire reaction.
Yeah. Yeah, 9 reactions I was doing in my opponent's turn, which is not
Fuck.
the most fun.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So I played, the 4 games I played in 2 of them, they didn't do much because there wasn't like opponents in like a lot of like tanks, so they can't quite get through the tanks. But when they did do well, they did like against first game of mech against Tonka. Poor guy, like I was just Pharax were dropping left, right, and center.
Yeah.
Which was pretty savage.
Because there are
And
only 2 wounds Alex now, right?
they are, yeah.
Yeah,
So
so just takes them down. Yeah.
takes them down, and I did kill a Morbus Bombard in my opponent's first turn with 2 of these, which was incredibly. I was like, oh,
just because they moved it.
Yeah, they moved it.
Yeah.
I was like, cause 2 damage with one of them. It's like, oh, how many health points has this got? Oh, 6. Oh my god. I guess I'll fire the other one.
Yeah.
Oh wait, it's dead.
Yeah.
Like,
fair play.
yeah, I think you make a valid point with the drop pods. So food for thought with them, but
I
think
haven't. That's not something. So that was something when I first looked at the rules. I was like, oh, people are just going to spam drop pods.
but they
Because
haven't seen any.
you intercept the drop pod and not the guys coming out.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen anybody take like a drop pod just with.
No, I haven't either.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I think these are one of those ones where it for certain people who when they look at them, they're like it'll stop them from moving, and that is it creates a negative play experience for your opponent because if they have that indecision when they just like you just need to move your stuff.
Yeah,
they're not. You're not playing the game.
And
right?
just kill them straight away.
Yeah.
Like just get rid of them straight away.
Because they'll get crank grenaded. It's whatever.
Yeah.
Tactical Marines will kill these easily. But if it gives your opponent that indecision and they don't want to play, which is a bit lame, So yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
I then took the Predators, and then the Apothecary semi game with the August Command Squad. This was good. This was a good list. I won all 4 games with it.
Nice. I quite like, yeah, just but it's not. I mean,
It's
the introduction of a Eversaw Assassin is quite cool. There's some cool stuff going on with this, I think. Yeah.
it just plays the game really well. It's really really quick. It gets on the points. It gets points quickly. It's like,
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, that's great. Awesome. Okay, well that's been an absolutely fascinating fascinating
real
conversation.
deep.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's just go to the next slide on our final
Yeah.
thoughts. So look, I went into this hoping that
What are your thoughts?
my eyes would be opened. And I think that for me, there's a couple of things, which is that it's disappointing that I feel like I've got to rebuild the list from the ground up. I suppose that's one of the things, just finding the time to do that. Like the Alpha Legion, I'm focusing on getting those kind of like 3.0 ready, because they were actually the makeup of what was in the Force is actually much more kind of like geared towards 3.0. So it only took a couple of units, a couple of extra tacticals here and there to get it ready. The Ultramarines, I think for me, feel like they need to be rebuilt from the ground up. And as a result, it's just something I've been a bit like, ooh, what do I do? I've really got to build an Augur command squad, and I don't really like the models that GW have created for those. I need to kind of like source bit blah blah
Find your
blah.
bits.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I've been hesitant to kind of like really get them out of the cases and play too much with them. I think I've had 2 games. I think like you, I just looked at the reaction, like the Legion trait, and was like, oh, it's a bit lame. But I think the exactly as we said at the start, it gives you that first step on the rung, and then from there you go. Actually, psychologically, it's just quite easy to go up that rung a little bit further, to get, as you say, like 9 reactions in one turn. Because although other legions can get 8, they're probably less likely to do it because they're not on that first step. Whereas Ultramarines players, I think you're always going to look at the Ultramarines list and go, it's probably got high leadership in a number of places here, but also it's probably going to be able to do quite a lot of stuff in my own turn. And that's just something to bear in mind, which I think like is quite obvious when you look at the Ultramarines list. But I think that like Augur command squad seem obvious, Tarantulas seem obvious, like Master of Signals probably seem obvious. Those kinds of things are going to be useful. I think the Suzarin, for me, I think we're just going to have to bite the bullet and paint them, because I think that they're going to be a massively useful unit and a really decent close combat unit. And basically will replace the role of the Locutarus that I had. The Locutarus themselves, I don't know, like they're all armed with swords. I probably will keep them. But I think I will probably keep them, but they're just an expensive unit, and every time somebody fires at one, you lose one. It's 40 points.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's expensive. But yeah, what's your thoughts? You've played more bigger games than I have.
Yeah, I think they are. They are. I think they are just as, probably not just as good, but they are still very very good. Sort of in the right hands. It's not as sort of quote unquote easy as it was before to play them, because you don't just have that straight +1 to hit and all that kind of stuff. I still like them a lot. I've still got a lot of love for them, and I came into them that with the new iteration of them, I'd painted all the infantry and that was about it. So I was kind of like, right, I need to sort of sculpt it. But I think it's easy to, like we've said, to sort of disregard the +1 reactions, like, oh well, reactions are weaker now, they're not as good as they once were. Well, it's like, sure, I get that, but if you can react with 5 of your units, well, if you discount things that like can't return fire and this, that, and the other, most of your army is reacting in a turn, which is huge. Like being able to say react off objectives, so people can't vanguard you, react back into rhinos, or transports, like it's a massive thing. Your Nemesis destroyers reacting back into your termite. And same with the suit. Like I've played 1 or 2 games with the Suzarin. I need to paint mine still. So I think I'd quite like to give them another go, and then say some Praetorians. You just need to get some models that aren't the GW ones, Rob. Convert some, because they I painted one of those once and they're awful. I hate them.
I painted a number of them for commissions, and they're
never again.
You kind of like, should I just paint these gold and then fill in the blue bits?
Would that be
an easier way to go about doing this? Okay, well, awesome. I mean, thank you ever so much for this
No.
tour de force. It's been an absolutely fascinating discussion, and I know that this is going to be. I know that the Ultramarine players are like absolutely like they fucking love Ultramarines, don't they? If you
Yeah.
play Ultramarines, you're fucking
You
into
love them.
Excel, you're into spreadsheets, you're into calculus, you're into like creating empires,
Yeah.
like heresies. You're into all that shit, so I'm sure people enjoy it. But yeah, an
Yeah.
absolute tour de force and lots to consider and
You
lots
lots
to
of things. And I think there's a final thing. I think with this, this is
mm,
the these are the rule. These are going to be the rules that really they sort out the Inductii Ultramarines from the
yes.
Warborn Terran veterans, the ones
I,
that really want to stick
A, hu- a
with
hundred,
it.
100%. Yes, this is not. Gone are the days of +1 BS. This is now really as a thinking man's
Yeah,
army, isn't it?
it
Yeah, cool.
is. It is.
Cool. Okay, let's
All
just go
right.
to the last
Yeah.
slide. So, just a final thank you to our Heresy Hammer Praetors and our Patreons just in general. So, these are our top tier Praetors who subscribe to our Patreon. And of course, we haven't mentioned it, although you will have seen a number of banners kind of incepting you to sign up to the sign up to the Patreon along the bottom, along with YouTube subscriptions as well. But yeah, thank you to those guys. Really appreciate it. I'm happy to say actually we sold the early bird kind of Patreon event tickets on for January and February, and they went
Yeah.
in an hour. They're all gone.
Oh,
It's
well,
all
yeah.
sold. More events are to come. I'm very sorry if you're disappointed. Our capacity in that space is much smaller than it was at the school. It's only 16. We got 8 tables, so it's 16 people. So the events will be much smaller, much more bespoke. But I think that we're excited because with a smaller, once we get really settled, once we get everything up and running, it
Mhm.
does mean things like we can run actual like weekend campaigns with like campaign assets and things like that because we've got a smaller group of people. So we're
Okay.
really
Yeah,
looking
those
forward to, yeah,
early Heresy Hammer events
literally,
from last
literally,
year
yeah,
with
yeah.
all the videos and stuff. Oh, mate,
Yeah,
great times.
we're
Love those.
looking forward to getting up and rolling on the event scene
Mm.
again. So thank you, and then just finally going over to the final
Yep.
slide. Thanks ever so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you do want to support us. It's as little as £4 a month, right? So if you enjoy the content, and you want us to continue making content, then it's really important that you guys continue to support us. But if you don't, we appreciate your patronage just by watching the show. If you are a dog walker, a commuter, you want to listen while you're kind of delayed on the underground tube like Matt was before he came on the
Yeah.
show. You can listen to this on Spotify. What I tend to do now is upload it to Spotify first thing in the morning, because I know that people are keen and eager to get started while they're working or commuting, and then in the afternoon when everyone's more active on YouTube, I then tend to upload it on YouTube as well. So that
Yeah.
usually tends to be the way we do it. And that's it. Thank you ever so much, Matt. We really, really
No,
appreciate
a
your
pleasure.
time. It's been
A
an absolute
pleasure.
tour de force. Been fascinating discussion. So thank you ever so much, and we
No,
shall see you
anytime.
soon. Take care, guys, and see you on the next one.
Bye.